Hello and welcome back to GameSpot's coverage of E3 2016. Joining us here today to talk about the Ubisoft Press Conference. It's Monday. What are we going to get from Ubisoft? We're going to find out. We've got a panel of experts. I'm Lucy James, joined by Timur Hussain.
Hello.
Dave Jewett. And Scott Butterworth.
Hello.
Guys, are we excited about what Ubisoft might be announcing today?
Yes. Very excited.
Yeah?
Kind of a mystery, right? Because we know they've got they have a history of bringing out a big game, a new IP every year, Watchdogs, For Honor for the last few. So we're expecting a lot of known quantities followed by something big to blow us away. Whether that's an indie game, I mean, these days like the profile of an indie game is almost as high as a AAA game. Like we've had stuff like Unravel show up and be on the most important games of E3 lists. So they could come out with something small that is something like their war game that Valiant Hearts, and it could blow us away. Or they may have something huge, another new IP in the same vein as something like Watchdogs or Ghost Recon, something big. Who knows? Surprises.
Speaking of Watchdogs, Dave, we had a big reveal about Watchdogs 2 last week. Scott as well, I know you're well into this.
Saw it yesterday, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, check the site later today. There'll be stuff.
Yeah, so Dave, do you think they should have held off for the press conference, or do you think it's kind of nice going in, knowing what to expect?
They couldn't really hold off too much after somebody kind of leaked it with the sunglasses.
The voice actor. And then a YouTuber.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm looking for a reason to get into Watch Dogs. I didn't play the first one because it didn't really grab me, but what I've seen of Watch Dogs 2 is interesting me a lot more. The whole kind of anonymous vibe, the DedSec, that looks pretty cool.
It's very Mr. Robot.
Yeah.
Scott, what can you say about Watch Dogs? You've seen a little bit of the game.
Yeah, so they have an embargo expiring a little later this afternoon for some coverage, some stuff I saw yesterday. I'm not exactly sure how much I can really say right now, but I'll just leave it at I enjoyed what I saw, and I'm excited for people to read my impressions later today. And I agree with Dave that it is interesting sort of the direction they're going with the game. It seems to have an entirely new personality compared to the first game. I mean, Aiden Pierce, the hero of the first game, was very dour and relentlessly just kind of surly and upset all the time. And this new game feels kind of just brighter and funnier and younger somehow. I don't know. So I like the approach that they've decided to take. It seems to have a much more approachable personality, and it's already drawn me in a lot more than the first game ever did.
I think what's interesting about it is you could see with the first Watchdogs, it was like a half step towards becoming a GTA title. It was almost like Ubisoft wanted a GTA title but didn't fully commit to it. It was like in between something like an Assassin's Creed and maybe a bit of Far Cry in there and a GTA. Now it looks like they've gone full GTA with it, and they've got a proper open world with unique districts and AI civilians that kind of react to you and that kind of stuff. So I think Watch Dogs 2 is going to be their move into that kind of we want a GTA thing. And as we all know, they have a history of kind of nailing their games with the second one.
Yes.
So there's a lot riding on this one, a lot of expectation that this could be the Watch Dogs that delivers on the vision of the original.
Assassin's Creed 2, still the best Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just throwing that out there.
But other games that we know are definitely confirmed. We're going to be seeing some of Tom Clancy's Wildlands.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ghost Recon.
Wildlands. There's so much going on in that title.
Yeah.
Let's just call it Wildlands for now.
Wildlands.
I'm quite interested in it. I like the approach they seem to be taking. So it's the cartels. It's set in Bolivia. It's promising this, kind of Metal Gear, multiple approaches to your missions kind of thing. Dave, are you interested?
Since seeing the trailer, which had the best transition I've ever seen a video game trailer, by the way.
Oh,
the
from
cocaine
CG
into the blood.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Tom Clancy games I've always been a fan of, and the whole, like you said, the Metal Gear kind of multiple approach thing looks really exciting. And from what I've seen, it's kind of been teased for a long time.
Yeah.
I just want some Wildlands. Get me hyped for Wildlands so I can start hitting the hills, the buggies, and taking down Bolivian drug lords.
So I played it yesterday, and I am under an embargo until a little later on Tuesday.
I know, it's the worst.
But I can keep in the same vein as Scott. I'll keep my opinion of it very simple, and I'll say.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep, that's it for now. That's what I'm going to say.
I played it with Timur, and I agree with his hand wobble.
My handshake.
Although maybe that's not fair. You'll read our
you can read our
later today.
Check it out on GameSpot.
I'm really interested in seeing what they show during the actual press conference because after I played it, I went back and watched the original reveal trailer, and I thought, this is a little different from what I played. And then, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they show off during the thing and how similar it is to what we saw. It's going to be interesting for sure. But yeah, my impressions of that are going up on Tuesday, so you can look forward to that. Yeah.
Showing off the rad transition there.
Yeah,
there it is.
That's an excellent transition.
Blood.
And then into mud. Really, they got a lot of mileage out of that.
Yeah. We saw a little bit this morning on at Xbox's press conference, The Division finally getting a big chunk of DLC. I believe it's called Underground. Are we still playing The Division, guys? Because I know I'm not.
Well, the reason I stopped playing The Division is because it's weird. Like, I stopped playing because everyone else stopped playing.
Yeah.
But I know people stopped playing because I stopped playing. So maybe this big
chicken and egg situation here.
Yeah, this big new expansion pack will give everyone a reason to start playing again.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's the same with Destiny, and it obviously still has its dedicated fans, dedicated core group of players, but then interest in it came back so much when The Taken King came out, so I'm kind of hoping it's the same for The Division, because I had a whale of a time playing that game. Scott, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, so I actually reviewed this for us. I gave it an 8, and I stand by that score. I mean, it went through, kind of a rough period after launch where they made some changes, some of which were good, some of which kind of broke the game, but it seems to have leveled out a little bit now, and they lost some players in the process for sure, but I have some friends who still play that game, and I agree with Dave that I think maybe this expansion will bring some people back in because it sold really well, and it was a fun experience early on, and I think a lot of people who maybe drifted away, will be interested enough in this new content that they'll be willing to overlook some of the changes that were made that maybe drove them away and come back and realize, oh, actually they fixed a lot of the stuff that they broke, and it's now back to being a relatively fun game. So, yeah, I mean, I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see more from them.
I'm just hoping for more Garrus Vicarian guiding you around the city of New York, because that was pretty much my favorite thing about it.
I think that the kind of, it looks like they're shifting in tone as well, moving into some new environments. I think the problem that a lot of people had was they were hanging around the same kind of environments for a really long time, and
same kind of enemies as well, over and over again.
And in a game like Destiny, you can do that because the environments that you're in are so weird and fantastical. You're in space, weird space stations. Even when you're in like future space Earth or whatever it is, Russia or whatever it's called, there's enough weirdness and variety to it to kind of keep you interested. But when you're in a real world location, even if it is like slightly post-apocalyptic, cold city, it kind of wears thin very quickly. So like being able to do things like going to like the deeper underground parts of the city and that kind of stuff, looks like it could be interesting. I'm wondering if they're going to show off more of the same expansion or like a more, I feel like they might have some extra Division content to show off as well.
Especially also they have the season pass. There's other expansions coming. It would be nice to maybe even get a tease of those. Another game that we definitely know we're going to be seeing more of is For Honor.
Finally. Which
had an incredible showing last year with probably the most enthusiastic dev I think I've ever seen. And I've been watching more gameplay features, gameplay clips of it. I'm really excited about it. I'm really interested to see how it's going to work. It's like a mix of, it's a multiplayer, but there's also like creeps that you have to take care of, and then you get these one-on-one duels. Dave?
It seems like it's got a lot of games. It's got like essences of Dynasty Warriors with the grand battles where you're playing the badass dude. I played a lot of a game called Deadliest Warriors, which is where like it was pirates fighting Spartans, fighting Roman legionaries, and I got like that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But that was kind of an indie game, whereas Ubisoft, it looks like they've taken that idea of all these fantastical, amazing historical units that you used to pretend to be when you were a kid, and just let you be in control of them, be in control of their massive armies, and have a really hardcore scrap.
Yeah.
I like the.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, every time I look at the one-on-one combat, it feels a lot like, or looks a lot to me like Infinity Blade, the classic iOS game.
Yeah.
In the terms of like you really focusing on tells and that kind of stuff, which is Infinity Blade obviously in some ways based on Punch-Out, a Nintendo kind of game, and that kind of style of game, it's not everywhere right now, and I think it's kind of due some more attention, and this looks like it's an amazing way to bring it back, taking these legendary warrior types from around history and bringing them all together in this one world and creating this massive epic battle for people to get involved with.
Actually interviewed Cliff Bleszinski, who's making a new game, Lawbreakers, a couple of months ago, and he talked about in his favorite shooters, there's a phenomenon that he referred to as the dance, which is you have two characters who have enough health to survive an encounter long enough to kind of like feel each other out and circle each other and try to strategically like position themselves. And I feel like this game actually has that. It's not a shooter, but it still has like this very nuanced combat system that allows you to actually, like, you're not just spamming an attack button, right?
Yeah.
You can actually like dodge and block and attack at various heights, like there's high, mid, and low, like you would find in a fighting game, and you have to block each of those individually. So there's enough nuance and skill involved in just the hand-to-hand combat of it that alone is really cool and really compelling. So to layer on top of that all these other characters fighting alongside of you, it seems pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's a lot like I hate comparing everything to it because this is what we do now, but it's a lot like Dark Souls multiplayer in terms of you invade someone's world and you have these two people who are just trying to figure out what the other one is capable of, because everyone looks the same initially, and then you realize, oh, that guy's got magic attacks, and then you have this moment where you're strafing around each other using the environments to try and bait out attacks and expend stamina so you can get in there, and it feels a lot like a little really tight skirmish where there's so much going on for you to think about. So like Dark Souls, Street Fighter, or any other fighting game where you need to really think about countering and that kind of stuff. The more I think about it and the more I see of it, the more I'm excited about it. It's one of those games that's kind of been floating around in my head that I haven't too thought about, mainly because they're not talking about it.
Yeah.
So I'm extra excited about seeing it at the press conference.
What I'm interested in seeing is how they balance between, obviously they have like the speed of the samurai compared with the brute strength of the Vikings, and how, that the knights will work in a very kind of orderly kind of way. I'm really interested to see how they'll balance. If you guys had to pick, who would you play as?
Samurai.
Viking.
I'll go Knight, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
We can have a three-way face-off. It'll be great.
Us three, when this game's out,
We can finally settle once and for all if it's Ubisoft or Ubisoft.
There we go.
Whoever wins gets to decide once and for all.
All right. I'm love that.
We also know that South Park, so the sequel to The Stick of Truth, is going to
Say
be
the
there.
name. Say the full name.
South Park, The Fractured Butthole. Oh no, is it The Fractured Butthole?
Yeah,
it's just
it is.
fractured butthole though. It's not.
Yeah.
It's the butthole bit that matters.
Yeah,
Just don't worry about the rest of it. Yeah.
To be honest, I think I was rewatching the trailer and I'd forgotten basically the fact that GameSpot got that incredible name drop.
Yep.
Even
You're
though they
right
said a 9.5, that's not our
we
scale,
don't do
guys.
0.5s anymore.
So come on, this is the actual moment where he says 9.5 from GameSpot. But also they are very self-referential about what was wrong with the first games. Things like that was barely an RPG, Kyle. The combat sucked. So what I'm really interested in seeing now is that they're moving away from the fantasy and they're moving more into like the superhero realm.
Yeah, which is exactly what is like. I liked the first South Park game, but it was thematically it wasn't my kind of cup of tea. Like I'm not too into the knights and dragons and that kind of stuff. It was still funny, but like I'm way more into superheroes, and every time they've kind of parodied that stuff and made fun of it in the actual TV series, it's been amazing. So I'm really looking forward to seeing. They've got so much material as well with all the Marvel movies. We know they love taking current stuff and making fun of it, so I expect to see plenty of my favorite superheroes made a mockery in this game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just there you always had like a Riddler kind of spin-off there. Dave, you excited?
I'm not the hugest South Park fan. I know, but the first game didn't really grab me. As you said, the combat was a little bit ropey. The bit that's charming me most about this game is that they are quite happy to make fun of their own mistakes, which also makes me think they are going to learn from them. So while I'm not a massive South Park fan, I will probably try this game just to see how much they have changed off of their own back.
Scott, do you think Matt and Trey are going to make an appearance? They
Possibly.
did at Xbox a few years ago.
I mean, they don't seem to shy away from public appearances, so it's entirely possible, but you never know. I mean, I think if ever they were going to make an appearance and plug their game, it would be at this conference. So it is entirely possible. It would be kind of great if they did, but it's maybe 50-50. We'll see.
The one thing to note is, I think I'm right in this, is there's a different developer now, right?
Yes, it's
so
not
it's gone
Obsidian
from
anymore.
Obsidian to a Ubisoft internal team, and I'm interested in seeing what that results in, whether it's a better game or maybe a different type of experience. It looks like, from what we're seeing here, they're kind of sticking to the template that Obsidian really, laid out. But I'll be interested in seeing if there's more system stuff that Ubisoft introduced, because they do have some experience now with that kind of RPG system. They released that Child of Light and that kind of stuff. So they have some experience to draw on from there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of gameplay changes we might get.
So you just named dropped Child of Light there. Do we think there's going to be anything from Ubi Arts?
Oh, for sure. I definitely think there's going to be. Maybe, I don't know, from Ubi Arts, but like we have stuff. There is a mysterious
IP there.
New IP, and something called Grow Up has appeared online, which is quite close to something called Grow Home,
which is what they released a couple years ago.
Yeah, a really cool, like the best Assassin's Creed game in a long time is what people call it. And a lot of people said at the time, I'd play a full game out of this. If they took this mechanic, and maybe they were like, okay, well, put your money where your mouth is. We'll
Ask
do
and
it.
you shall receive.
Yeah.
There you go. We might have some like a full Grow Home type experience.
But do you think Rayman's going to be back? I mean,
Rayman.
Everybody
Do we really need
loves
it?
Rayman.
It does.
Sorry.
I'll allow it.
I don't know about Rayman. He's kind of. I feel like he had his renaissance, which is kind of like over now.
Yeah, which is a shame. Although I think he's got a strong life on mobile yet, because the Rayman mobile games are really fun, like these endless runners that they're doing. I think out of Blue Byte. But
dude, I would love to see a Rayman Origins 2, like one of the prettiest games, one of the best platformers. I would love to see like a full true sequel to that.
I mean, they had Rayman Legends, but it was, I don't know, it was a bit, it just didn't sit as well with me, I don't think. I was playing it and I felt like it was a bit stuff being locked off and just stuff to collect, stuff to do, and it was like, that's not
just things they can improve in future games.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually been replaying Rayman 2. I downloaded it on the Vita, and I was like, okay, this doesn't hold up, but I would totally play another 3D Rayman like that.
Yeah, we'll see.
I hope so. Let's talk a little bit about VR, because Ubisoft is another one of the main publishers that is fully embracing. So we know we've got Eagle Flight, and I'm very excited about this. We've got Star Trek.
All right.
Are you just excited so you can see Carl Urban in VR?
Yes.
All right.
No, I don't. You know what? I kind of saw that announcement, but I'm deliberately steering clear of it because I'm a big Trek fan, so I'm quite interested. But do you think do you think it's time for the developers to start properly adopting VR? Are they too early or are they too late?
The thing is, like, they're not. Everyone has a VR thing, but nothing, from what we've seen so far, very few have a substantial VR game. Like, I think the best we've had so far this E3 is Bethesda talking about the entirety of Fallout and Doom being playable. A lot of these, especially with Ubisoft, they create these very limited slice gameplays for VR. And it's like, Eagle Flight is you just flying over an area with, from bird's eye view vision with VR. Like, that's fine, I guess, but like, it's not really a game. It's that thing where they're taking very like simple ideas and using it on VR just to kind of, it almost feels like they're not willing to commit, but they still want to act like they're part of it in case it does become a thing.
I think that's probably the safest way to approach VR at the moment.
At the same time, but if you keep presenting these kind of limited experiences, you don't really give people like me a reason to fully sink into it. Like the best, most compelling game that I've seen for VR now is Fallout. Like, and that's because I know it's a substantial, fully experienced, fully fleshed out VR experience. Whereas something like Eagle Flight or even a Star Trek thing is like a novelty that I don't want to pay £700 or whatever it is to buy this device and just sit on like a holodeck, which is fine. Like, but for like how long? 10 minutes, 15 minutes? And how much am I paying for that? It's kind of like I'm not into these disposable VR experiences. I want something that I can really sink my teeth into, even if it means I'll throw up at the end of it or whatever.
Well, hopefully they've fixed the motion sickness problem by now. But Dave, are you big into VR?
I like the idea of VR. I've tried like different variants of it. What I'm excited about when you mentioned the Star Trek one, what I like about that is that Star Trek is a world that the fan base spans generations, and I think because of that, people will want to explore, like go to the holodeck, go to the bridge. There was a game years ago that I had on PC, I think it was called like Star Trek Elite Force, and I spent all of my time just exploring the ship. So I think maybe they'll just play off on that fan base and kind of be like, hey, you can explore the Star Trek ship that you've always wanted to see since you were a kid. I think it's those experiences playing off people's nostalgia and sense of exploration that's really going to help sell VR.
Yeah. Scott, what other Ubisoft franchises do you think could work in VR?
Oh, they put me on the spot. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I'm thinking more like spectator modes of things. I'm not thinking Assassin's Creed VR would...
Yeah, well, I mean, so the big issue facing most VR experiences is traversal. Like, you have to kind of invent a way for people to get around that feels natural. So for a lot of established franchises that are, third-person, first-person games, that may not work. I'm trying to think of a Ubisoft game that's like a cockpit experience, because that seems to translate pretty naturally with, many of those types of experiences.
Driver.
To be honest, I would love to see something that's a little more story or character-driven, because we've actually seen very little of that. And I've seen a few games where you get to interact with a character sort of face-to-face, and it's really interesting to have sort of like to be positioned in front of a fake character that feels so much like a real person in front of you. It's not something that many VR games have explored, so I would love to see something that does a little more of that. I don't know if there's a Ubisoft property that would work well for that, but...
Maybe an unannounced.
We'll see. I mean, that's another one that they could go any number of directions. We are seeing the heavy hitter publishers finally starting to dip their toe in the VR waters. So it's entirely possible that they'll have some surprise for us, but that's another one that's just pure speculation at this point.
All right, let's talk about what we might see. So all the above have kind of already been confirmed. Do you think there's going to be any kind of update for Rainbow Six Siege?
Oh, definitely. They'll definitely talk about some sort of upcoming update to it. As far as I know, it's doing okay. Like not.
It had a little rocky start.
Yeah, and the thing is, it had a rocky start. It had a weird pricing model, and there was some weird balance stuff, but it's an excellent game. That's the thing that no one's saying. It's actually genuinely a good game.
Yes.
You just have to. There's a learning curve, and you have to really give it some time. But it's a fun game, and I guess the issue they're having is it's not taking off as an esport in the way that they wanted it to.
Yeah.
They really wanted it to be a big deal in the competitive scene, and as far as I can tell, it's not making too much headway in that. But personally, I know a lot of people that play it. There's a lot of people in the office that speak really highly of it and mention it as one of the best multiplayer experiences around right now, especially hardcore shooter experiences.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they keep kind of putting some attention on there, maybe dripping some new content in there just to keep that community alive.
Yeah. Dave, do you think we'll see anything from the crew? It's been a while.
It has been quite a while since we've seen anything from the crew. Ubisoft really doesn't have that much in the way of racing right now. And
no, certainly not coming up.
Yeah, and with the announcement of Forza 3, maybe this might be the time to... Because we always see... when racing games are like buses, right?
Yeah.
When one comes, a whole bunch follow.
Yeah, so we've got Forza Horizon 3, GT Sport, Drive Club VR. So
it wouldn't surprise me if Ubisoft do, in fact, dip their toes into the water. And I suppose as well, touching back on the whole VR thing, driving games and racing games are something that lend themselves really well to VR as well.
Scott?
It's possible we'll see I mean, I don't think so.
No.
I think they're kind of done with that franchise. It never really worked the way they wanted it to.
Didn't really take off.
Yeah, I will be very surprised if we saw that at the show. But, I mean, it's possible they'll bring it to they'll do a VR version of it. I mean, if we do see it, I think that's the most likely scenario. But like a sequel or an expansion, I think the crew is kind of done.
Yeah, they use the Assassin's Creed template a bit to kind of give it some life and try and make it something familiar to people. And as far as I can tell, the game felt a bit too loose. It didn't feel like a genuine... It wasn't like a simulation racing game, and at the same time, it wasn't arcadey enough. It was just in this weird middle ground where it didn't know who it was trying to appeal to, and at the same time, it had an open world, which was kind of like...
To be fair, they fixed it a bit with Wild Run. I reviewed the big expansion Wild Run, which improved the driving across the entire game.
Right.
But even that wasn't enough to now it's an amazing game. It's now it's an okay game.
Yeah. The big question, and one that I ask myself every E3, Beyond Good and Evil 2.
No.
Yeah, if only.
Yeah.
Maybe. Who knows?
Nah.
I mean...
I think now that Michel Ancel is working on Wild with Sony... I think his studio's called Throwing Sheep. Who would be left to helm it?
Ubisoft has been having a lot of deals, bad times with their ex-developers.
Is that a Patrice?
As a Patrice type thing, and I think they're the kind of company that will be like, no, we're gonna do this without you. So maybe like somewhere quietly there, and obviously they're kind of like.
I mean, they
right
have
now,
a bunch of studios.
Yeah, they have a bunch of studios, and also they just sold off Gameloft, kind of forced to sell it.
Yeah.
Like you'd imagine they want to try and get people like their board of directors on their side, because you know the rumblings are that Vivendi has taken over Gameloft and is positioning itself to also hostile take over Ubisoft, and the way to stop that is to really curry the favor of your shareholders, and the way they do that is by creating a lot of buzz, announcing games that people are excited about, maybe not have expected to be around, to kind of raise shares and get like a lot of talk around them, show people that they know what they're doing and they have a bright and bold future ahead of them. So maybe announcing something like a Beyond Good and Evil 2 is a good way to kind of protect yourself, get people on side, to stop something like a potential Vivendi takeover. But that might be me overthinking it somewhat.
Speaking of the Vivendi wannabe takeover, at least, do we think that if Yves Guillemot is going to be on the stage, is he going to say anything about it?
He might just do the 2 middle fingers and be like, Vivendi, this one's for you.
Yeah.
Take that.
I mean, I feel like they're probably going to focus on games. I think that they know their audience for these press conferences really is, the fans tuning in online, and fans aren't really interested in sort of the business side of things. Yeah. I think they'll become interested if Ubisoft does actually get bought out. But right now, I imagine they're just going to push, business politics to the side and try to focus on the products that they're putting forward. In fact, I imagine if anything, we're just going to see like, I don't know, Michael Fassbender will like walk out and be like, "Hey, we're making a movie," and they'll like show a trailer. And
that is a great point. Actually, we haven't touched on is the Assassin's Creed movie.
It's a thing.
Tam, you've not only did you see 20 minutes of it, you visited the set, and you have a really, for me, soul-crushingly amazing picture of you and Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, it's a good picture.
How is the movie shaping up?
I saw the first hour of it, and what I saw was kind of like.
So basically, you've seen the movie.
Not hour. Sorry, 20 minutes.
All right.
My bad. But it was like chopped bits of it all kind of strung together, and it didn't have like all the effects in. So it started with the classic like eagle flying over a city, but the eagle hadn't been properly modeled yet, and it wasn't animating, so it was just like this toy gray eagle just
like
going
on like
this. Yeah, but
I'm imagining the rabbit from Monty Python.
Exactly. Yeah. But it looks like it could not be completely bad. Like there's clearly attention been paid to it, and Michael Fassbender looks like he's actually acting and trying to act, like he's not checked out and being like collecting a paycheck.
He's not Jake Gyllenhaaling.
No, he's not. He's actually doing it, and there's some interesting like lore stuff in there. I really like what they've done with the Animus. So it's no longer this bed that you like lay in. It's like this arm that kind of grabs you.
It's Doc Ock, right?
Yeah, and then like it allows you to run around up walls, and it kind of makes sense how an assassin's abilities would bleed back onto you, and you'd be able to do those things because you're actually stretching the muscles to do it and figuring it out. And there's like a few other like supporting characters that are really interesting. There's the guy.
So you've got there's Jeremy Irons, there's Marion Cotillard.
Is it Michael C? No, the guy who played Omar in The Wire.
Yes.
He's in there, and his character looks like an absolute troublemaker. Like he's in there being like, there's a bit at the start where Michael Fassbender's character. Yeah, Michael Fassbender's character is thinking about kind of jumping out of a window to try and get away, and this guy comes along. He's like, "Yeah, do it, dude. Do it, dude.
Just do it.
You'll survive. Don't worry about it. Just go for it." I'm like, this guy's all right. I like him.
So I remember a few years ago when Ubisoft announced that they were making more of their properties into movies. Obviously, we had Prince of Persia. There were a few short films around Ghost Recon Future Soldier. Now we have Assassin's Creed. Do we think any others?
Well, they've said before they want to do Watchdogs.
Yeah, I can. Well, I mean, unfortunately for them, Mr. Robot exists.
Yeah, they'll still do it. I mean, I don't know whether this is the place for Ubisoft's like motion pictures to come out and be like, "Hey guys, we're doing this thing." But then again, they don't have an Assassin's Creed to show off this year, so they have some space to fill. So maybe that is the good, the point where they sneak in some movie stuff, and they have said they're giving the money, or they've indicated that the time and attention that they would have given to Assassin's Creed a game is going to the movie. So perhaps they show up and be like, "Hey, we got this." But I think it's too early to maybe put out. I mean, the movie that best stands a chance of showing up is Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy's been cast in that, and that seems to be like fairly along the way in terms of development. But whether it's far enough to have a trailer, I'm not sure. I doubt.
Maybe some behind the scenes.
Yeah.
What other surprises do we think may turn up? Is it too soon for Far Cry?
Yeah, after Primal, it probably is. maybe they'll show like another sweet indie gem like Valiant Hearts again. I'd quite like to see something in the same vein as that, because Valiant Hearts, that game made me cry, man. The first game in a long time to do that to me.
Scott?
I wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of Primal DLC that they're announcing. I think that's been sort of like teased. There were Easter eggs in Primal that implied that there was they're maybe going to do some stuff. So I'm guessing there's going to be some kind of like Primal DLC announced that'll be interesting in some way.
Are they going to do Primal Blood Dragon?
That is kind of what I was thinking. That's there was an Easter egg where there was like you can literally find a Blood Dragon egg, I think, somewhere hidden in the world. So I'm really hoping that is what it seems to be, and it was a hint for Blood Dragon DLC for Primal.
Maybe.
They're probably going to have something Rabbids related too.
Yeah.
You never get rid of the Rabbids.
Yes.
That always happens.
So there'll be Rabbids. Just Dance, do we think there's going to be the awkward dancing takeover again?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
They always seem to have a Just Dance game.
Yeah,
they make so much money. So.
They do.
Yeah. And also there's a couple of other like franchises that usually appear, even though they're not often remembered, Trials being one of them.
Yes.
Yeah. Like that could pop up. That's a popular game. And they announced something recently, didn't they? I can't remember the exact details of it, but they were talking about Trials recently, so I imagine we'll see some of that. And I think Trackmania is also them, right?
Trackmania they had last year, I believe.
Right.
And they also had Anno as well.
Oh, right, yeah.
But Anno seems to have just slipped under the radar a little bit.
Yeah, I think Trackmania was released on console fairly recently, and it's doing quite well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw an update in terms of content for that. I know that there's a lot of people playing it and streaming it on consoles, and it's quite popular on sites like Twitch. So perhaps we get something about that. Who knows?
What's the likelihood of a reboot of Prince of Persia?
Oh, man.
I think it's getting more and more likely as time goes on.
Especially with Assassin's Creed seemingly being rethought.
Yeah.
And there's an opportunity for them both to reappear and really differentiate each other from each other, because that's what the lineage of Assassins is, right? It started off as a Prince of Persia game, and when they did have them around at the same time, they kind of one cannibalized the other. So this might be an opportunity if they're reinventing Assassins to also bring back Prince of Persia, and it could come back in its classic form and be like, this is the Prince of Persia that you remember, because Assassin's Creed is this now. It's like more like The Witcher or whatever it is.
All right, I've just heard we may be going over to Ubisoft now. The press conference is starting. Make sure to come back here afterwards for our impressions. Enjoy.
Stop me now. Don't stop me, 'cause I'm having a good time, having a good time. A shooting star leaping through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity. I'm a racing car passing by like Lady Godiva. I'm gonna go, go, go. There's no stopping me. I'm burning through the sky, 200 degrees, that's why they call me Mr. Fahrenheit. I'm traveling at the speed of light. I wanna make a supersonic man out of you. Don't stop me now. I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball. Don't stop me now. If you wanna have a good time, just give me a call. Don't stop me now. I'm having a good time. Don't stop me yes, now. I'm having a good time. I don't wanna stop at all. Yeah. I'm a rocket ship on my way to Mars on a collision course. I am a satellite. I'm out of control. I'm a sex machine ready to reload like an atom bomb. About to explode. I'm burning through the sky. 200 degrees, that's why they call me Mr. Fahrenheit. I'm traveling at the speed of light. I wanna make a supersonic woman of you. Don't stop me, don't stop me, don't stop me. Hey, hey, hey! Don't stop me, don't stop me. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Don't stop me, don't stop me.
God, you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. You guys were confusing and awesome. And my mom has those boots, by the way. She wants them back. Ladies and gentlemen, you know when you see a dancing crab and a baby bird with a paper collar that you could only be at the Ubisoft E3 press conference. Welcome. Welcome. Dancers, can you guys bring it in behind me for a second? Just gather around. Get behind me here. It's a special year. And I want to take a moment to do something that's going to feel a little incongruous and potentially even uncomfortable for some of you. There's no smooth or easy way to do this, but we all felt really strongly when we were rehearsing today that we needed to say this. So before we start, everyone here at Ubisoft want to offer our deepest sympathies to the people affected by this weekend's tragedy in Orlando. Our hearts, the hearts of everyone in Paris, in France, in the United States, and around the world are with you. And now, thanks, guys. And now, with a human giraffe on my right and a candy cane on my left, I'm going to make a very hard right turn and get into the fun stuff. Thanks for coming on, guys. Dance away. Dance away. The madness that you just saw was courtesy of the movement wizards at Just Dance 2017. Just Dance has always been at the forefront of innovation, bringing its experience to new devices and also introducing the world to the first dance-on-demand streaming service with Just Dance Unlimited. And today, Ubisoft is pleased to announce that Just Dance 2017 will be coming to all video game platforms and PC in October and to the Nintendo NX next year. Yes. Your life is not complete until you have a lion singing at you out of your television screen. Hello and welcome to everybody lucky enough to be sitting here in this theater and even luckier enough to be watching at home around the globe because you have snacks and you probably didn't shower today. I am Aisha Tyler. Some of you probably didn't shower either. There's no judgment here. I am Aisha Tyler, and I'm standing in the historic Orpheum Theater in vaguely beautiful yet faintly urine-scented downtown Los Angeles. It's true, right? It's underneath everything. And the badges are on everyone's necks and the smiles on everyone's faces can only mean one thing. It is E3 conference time. Now, 2016 is a huge year for everyone here at Ubisoft. It's my 5th time hosting this conference. Yes. And you all know what the traditional gift is for a 5th anniversary, yeah? That's right, my friends. Wood. Or girl wood, if you choose. Let it wash over you. Now, they always ask me, like, why do I continue to do this conference in the face of the overwhelming internet love that I receive? And it's not the money, I'll tell you that. Ubisoft is French. They're paying me in red wine and sarcasm, you guys. No, I come back every year because I love games. I play these games, I adore them, and I love being a part of the excitement that comes with revealing new games to the world. Every day, every year when I do this, I'm like a kid in a candy store. A really large, slightly masculine kid in a candy store. And speaking of excitement, it's Ubisoft's 30th birthday. Yeah, give it up for Ubi. Or Ubi. Ubi may be 30, but like everyone else here in Hollywood, it hasn't aged a bit. It gets drunk on weekdays and dresses inappropriately, but whatever makes it feel young. Now, over these 3 decades, Ubisoft has been flexing its creative muscles, giving its teams the freedom to push boundaries and create games that are memorable, fun, and sometimes a little crazy. So, enough talk. We're going to hit fast forward right now and get straight to the games. All right? Now, you may remember our next title from the end of last year's show, when it blew your fucking mind. And if you're at home playing a drinking game, yes, an F-bomb in the first 5 minutes of this show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Ghost Recon Wildlands.
I offer the people a choice: to follow me or oppose me. If you follow me, I feed your families, give you shelter, medicine, and jobs, shield you from the tyrants, allow La Santa Muerte to protect you from death. I give you power. I make you rich. But most of all, I let you rule like kings. But for those that oppose me, I have only one thing to offer. A promise. To take everything you love and destroy it in front of your eyes.
It's all yours.
Ghost, hit the money, hit the drugs, then hit the king.
In Bolivia, the coca leaf is core to the culture. It's found in every gas station, every hospital, and every town square. And they use it for a variety of things, like treating nausea and altitude sickness, to a refreshing energy drink. But it can also be used to make cocaine. So we asked, what if? What if a Mexican drug cartel moved in, took over the entire country, seized all of those coca resources to become the #1 producer of cocaine on the planet, effectively turning Bolivia into a narco state? This is the world of Ghost Recon Wildlands. And you? Well, you're the ghosts. The elite spec ops drop deep behind enemy lines to create chaos and disrupt the alliance between a corrupt local government and the Santa Blanca cartel, ultimately going after their leader, the vicious El Sueño. Hi everybody, my name is Dominic Butler. I'm the lead game designer for Ghost Recon Wildlands. Now, Ghost Recon Wildlands is the very first military shooter set in a massive, dangerous open world that you can play entirely in solo or in up to 4-player co-op, with beautiful environments set across a variety of different ecosystems that will challenge and influence your gameplay at every step of the way. All of this takes place in the largest action-adventure open world Ubisoft has ever done. Now, in the gameplay we're about to show you, the ghosts already have a target. His name is El Pozolero. He's known as the Stew Maker because he makes the bodies disappear. Now, the ghosts know that their target is in a large Santa Blanca camp somewhere in the San Mateo province, but they don't know where yet exactly. And because Ghost Recon Wildlands gives you the total freedom of choice to do what you want, when you want, we put the power back in the players' hands to achieve their objectives their way. In this case, the ghosts know that their target has some vital intel. They want to take him alive, so they've opted for a tactical extraction. Let's go get that intel.
Here we go. The intel we need is supposed to be in this Sicario's house. Looks like it's upstairs.
Copy that.
Need any help?
Nah, I got this.
Okay, I'll take a look around.
Right, let's try to keep it stealthy. There's one right there. Boom, got you. I'm in. Oh shit, I've been spotted.
You good?
Yep, got it. Just moving upstairs. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, I got the intel on El Pozolero. He's in a camp up in San Mateo.
Cool, how far is it?
We could use a ride. You got a car out there?
No, something better. You ready to fly?
Let's go.
You got it.
According to the intel, the camp should be near this cliff. El Pozolero's a high-value target, and he's gonna be well protected.
There's a camp. Oh, damn, this one's gonna be tough.
Yeah, we could definitely use some backup on this one.
Hey, you guys need a hand?
Right on time. We're going after El Pozolero. We're at the east of the San Mateo base.
Got it. We are on our way.
We're approaching the camp from the west. We'll meet you there.
Copy that.
I hear this El Pozolero guy is supposed to be a hard target.
How bad does it look?
See for yourself.
Oh, damn. Looks like a whole lot of trouble. Tag the lookout. Can you get him?
Roger that. One less to worry about.
Okay, we're splitting up.
Weaver, can you get to a good sniper position on the south side of the camp?
No problem.
Alrighty, I'm moving in from the other side.
Copy that.
We're moving in from the train station at the east end of camp.
Heads up, enemy spotted.
I got eyes on a sniper.
Wait for my signal.
Got it.
Now.
Tango down. Let's move. Okay, wait a minute. I hear something inside. 2 guys. I got the one on the right. You ready?
Ready.
Go.
Good job.
Okay, I'm gonna deploy the drone and see what's up ahead. Looks like an old town that Santa Blanca's turned into a base. Oh man, there are guards all over the place.
That bad?
Yep, be careful.
One down, so far so good. Found my way in, guys.
All right, let's see what's in this big building. Okay, I got him. Red gloves, gas mask. He's got guards with him.
Got it. And another one down. I'm moving through.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm close to the building. I'm trying to find a way in. You saw anything else?
Oh, man, I think he was dissolving somebody.
Like in a can of acid or something.
Yeah, looked pretty nasty. Come on, guys, let's move.
All right. I think I found my spot. Nearly there.
Careful, there's more of them the closer you get.
Only one left. Okay, I'm in position.
I have 3 tangos in front of me. Weaver, you think you can help?
I got it.
going in.
Don't let this guy get away.
I see him. We'll talk about nightmare fuel.
Call us if you need us.
Oh, don't worry, man. I got this. Shit! You spotted me. Guys, I'm spotted. El Pozolero's running. I'm going after him. Where is he? Where is he? Get out of the way, man. Okay, he's in a white SUV heading for the east end of the camp. Following on a bike.
Got it. I'm moving to intercept.
This camp's on full alert, guys. We need to get out of here fast.
Shit, hold, get in the car.
Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Shit, no, he's moving too fast. He went the other way.
Come on, man. Let's go, let's go.
Hurry up, the gate's closing.
I am right behind you. Weaver, are you okay?
I'm good.
Frag it. I'm pulling out. Found a bike, guys. I'm on my way.
Hey, watch your fire. We need him alive.
I can't get a good shot.
This guy's all over the place.
Stop moving.
Okay, guys, I'm clear. Out of the camp, on the road. Where are you guys? Let me know you're... Damn, the whole place is going up. All right, I'm heading for the chopper now.
Damn, he's trying to ram the car. I gotta hit his engine.
No, I'm trying to slow him down.
Help is on the way, guys. I'll run this train. Where's the chopper? Where is it? I found it. Okay, getting in. I'm in the chopper, coming your way. All right, I'm on my way, guys. Hang tight.
Oh, no, he's not stopping.
Oh, man, come on.
I'm trying.
He's a tough one, this guy, huh?
No, we're not gonna push him off.
Looks like he's losing control.
Can you push him to the side?
I don't know how it looks up there, but that's what I'm trying to do.
Damn it, he dodged it.
Hang on, guys. I'm nearly there.
Oh, damn it. Okay, I got him.
Yes, he stopped.
I'll get him.
Be careful. Ride's here.
How'd you get, buddy?
Hurry up, we got cartel reinforcements incoming.
Up you get, and in you go.
Adios. Let's get the hell out of here.
I got him in my line of fire.
Well, hold him off. I gotta fly this thing.
And
we are clear, gentlemen.
Nice work.
That was a tough mission. Oh, man, that was close.
Head over to GhostRecon.com right now for all the latest news and gameplay videos. For those of you here at E3, please come by the booth. We've got 4-player co-op demos, and we would love for you to try it. We want to get your feedback. Ghost Recon Wildlands will be released on March 7th, 2017. Thank you. Have a great show.
Crime in the United States is escalating at an alarming pace. The statistics are staggering. Urban centers are oversaturated with violence. And the wave of criminal activity has overflowed to suburban and rural areas. Dissolution of moral structure, international conspiracies, a multi-billion-dollar drug trade. No one knows the source, and authorities are helpless in stopping this epidemic of crime. Civilization is being pushed to the brink. To stem the rising tide of violence and re-establish order, extreme steps must be taken. The question becomes, who will take them?
From Ubisoft San Francisco.
I had the team put together a trailer. We just took some stuff from Snowdrop and said, make a cool trailer, and that's what it puts out. So that's kind of the way that goes. But all that chaos, all that scary stuff is totally true. Thankfully, the Coon is up to the occasion. And who better to defend the town of South Park and really Colorado and really the world than superheroes or kids in superhero costumes. So, like the Coon, I need some help from some friends. Please welcome Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
A comfy couch. This is sweet.
I had it
Finally,
brought in.
we can sit down.
I know, it's an exhausting walk all the way through there. So let's talk about the story. Everybody wants to know what's going on in the Fractured But Whole.
Don't know yet.
Yeah.
We're working on it. Well, it picks up where the Stick of Truth kind of left off. You're the new kid. If you played Stick of Truth, you would know that you're the new kid who moved to South Park. And so the game's really about who you are, and you kind of define who you are in South Park. But whereas the Stick of Truth was like a fantasy send-up, and you end up being the king in the end. And it's like the next day in South Park, and the kids have sort of switched up, and now they're playing superheroes.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, and so we actually have a backstory that the kids have been playing superhero, but they got into a big fight about something, so they're in the Civil War part of their
kind of Civil War.
And in fact, Marvel wanted to call their movie Captain America: The Fractured But Whole, but we had already taken that name, so they had to call their Civil War.
Lucky. True. It's a true story. That's extremely true.
But also, we want to get into who you are as this new kid, and the fact that, in Stick of Truth, you really rose to being cool because you became king. But in this game, they've kind of switched games, and so you're back to being a douchebag again.
Right. So let's see how that douchebag was able to make it into Coon and Friends. Real gameplay.
Dude, what the fuck? Who let this ordinary citizen into the Coon lair? Listen, bro, we are all superheroes and you aren't, so you can't hang out with us. Please do us all a solid and fuck off. Hey! Do not touch that! That device can blow up the entire Milky Way galaxy. Jesus, fuck! Mom! The new kid is trying to play with the cube of ultimate destruction!
You be nice to all your friends, Eric. Be a good sharer.
Good sharer? It'll blow up the fucking galaxies! Stupid bitch! Look, dude, we already told you, you can't play. You aren't a superhero. You don't have a costume. You don't have any superpowers. Freedom Pals are adding people to their franchise. We should be adding people to ours. This dork, wearing a little crown? Does this look like a superhero to you? All right, have a seat, douchebag. Not there. That's Mysterion's seat. Not there either, stupid. All right, in order to play superheroes, you have to have a superhero persona. Then you can fill out your character sheet on Coonstagram. Do you have a Coonstagram page? Oh boy, you're not even on Coonstagram, huh? Well, I guess I can create one for you. Fucking unbelievable. Let's see. So the first thing we need to fill out on your character sheet is your class. What kind of superhero are you? Speedster. Ah, yes, like the Flash or Quicksilver. I like it.
Yes.
Wow.
Woo.
That's what I'm thinking. Wow.
It was really important to us to be able to, and you guys, to be able to really create your own superhero. So that you saw on that UI that there are a dozen different superhero classes you can choose from. You mix and match powers from those classes and really make a superhero all your own. But what else is new in the Fractured But Whole?
That's obviously, it's definitely more of there's definitely more of defining your character and kind of, in superhero movies, there's always the intense emotional center that motivates why you have to go out and fight crime. So it's a much, as you can already tell, it's a much more spiritual.
It's a more spiritual.
It's a more spiritual game. It's much more about.
There's actually a part of it that I'm really proud of where there's a gay fish in South Park and he loves fish sticks, and the gay fish actually wants you to help him get his mother into heaven. And so you get to journey up and try to help this little gay fish get his mom into heaven. And you're all acting like this shit's regular.
Shit is hard.
The shit is hard.
It was hard.
I hope you all saw the Kanye thing. It's not gonna make any sense.
If you didn't see the Kanye thing, that won't make any sense.
Okay. But you also, we Cartman's the one who's kind of in charge of telling each superhero what their tragic backstory was that made them a superhero, and so this is what he comes up with for the player.
Right, let's see it.
Who let this guy join us anyway? Go easy on him, you guys. He's had a tough life. It's time they learned your tragic backstory. You lay awake that night. Like so many other nights, you couldn't sleep because you knew you weren't like the other kids. You walked to the mirror. You looked in the mirror and you felt alone. And that's when it happened. A loud noise. You swore you could hear your mother calling for help. You left your room. You left your room. Seriously, dude, just walk through the door already? But then you finally reached your parents' door. And what you saw when you opened that door changed your life forever and led you to fighting crime. You were too late, because when you opened that door, you saw your dad fuck your mom. What? Butthole doesn't trust anyone because his dad fucked his mom and he couldn't do anything to stop it. That doesn't make any sense. I know. How could the person you trust do that to the only other person you love? Cartman, everyone's dad fucked everyone's mom. Huh? That's how it works, stupid. Our dads fucked our moms. Oh, right. So does that mean your dad fucked your mom, Cal? Huh? Yes! My dad fucked my mom. That's why I'm here. Don't steal his backstory, dude. That's not cool.
I can see there's a lot of people that relate to that story.
Yeah, it's very personal for us, and apparently that does touch a lot of people.
There's very few people that can at least relate to it at some level, except for Jesus. So, we got that one out. So obviously that's pretty brutal. We've got another thing in South Park that's brutal, our combat, and we worked on that a lot together.
Yeah, the combat system is much improved from Stick of Truth, and it's a superhero game, so the combat is definitely the center.
Yeah,
it
was actually pretty cool because us and the guys from Ubisoft, we'd come down and talk about what this game would be, and we'd go back to my house afterwards and play board games, because I'm a big board gamer. So we'd play all like my favorite board games and tabletop miniature type of games and figure out how to, we still wanted to keep some of the turn-based stuff because it really makes it easier to do story, and so we just tried to do a big 4.0 version of Stick of Truth.
Right, I mean, all of those sessions, it's a lot of real clarity that comes from that. So what we ended up putting in is they'll combat space and time. So let's talk about it. First, let's talk about space. You're not restricted to a location anymore. Now you can move to get into tactical positions on your enemies. Ooh. You can also move to get behind cover. You can push and pull enemies, but they can also do it to you. You can knock them into props and get a little extra damage. You can knock them into other characters and get an extra attack. You can use some of your powers like Tweak here to get over obstacles. So obviously using space makes a big difference. Next up is time. In the first game, your farts were legendary. Now your farts are so powerful that you can use them to rip the fabric of time itself.
Like Ghost Recon.
So, you can use that to rearrange the turn order. Mastering space and time makes a huge difference. I can't wait for you guys to get your hands on it. Let's bring it out with big volume.
It gets loud too.
Yeah.
It's a loud game.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah. So then we did all that, and now we do the business part.
The business part? Oh, awesome. What's that part?
It's obviously been an amazing game for us to work on, and I think both of our teams have been having a ton of fun. And we're almost done, and now we have some exciting news for our South Park fans before we go. Anyone who buys the Fractured But Whole will get the Stick of Truth for PS4, Xbox One, and Steam for free. If you pre-purchase the game today, Fractured But Whole that is, and you can start playing Stick of Truth right away. So check out our website and for information and about our participating retailers. Right?
Yep.
Cool.
Sounds great.
You don't want to do
So we made a trailer if you want to see it.
yeah.
Sort of shows what the boys are fighting about that was the Civil War Fractured But Whole part of it.
People want to know the release date probably too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
What do you think it is? What do you think it is?
I'm putting my money on December 6th. The Fractured But Whole will be released on December 6th. That's it.
There it is. Thank you.
Right, thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Enjoy the trailer.
Bye.
Why did we choose this life? Why did we become superheroes? We dedicate our lives to fighting crime for one reason: to make $1 billion on a superhero franchise. Now let's go through the plan one more time. First, we start with the Coon movie. Then we do the Super Craig movie. Then Super Craig and Coon will join forces in the Human Kite movie, just as we start ramping up Kenny's Netflix series. How come I have to have the Netflix series? I want a movie too. You have a movie, Mysterion. You're in the third Coon and Friends United movie, after your Netflix series. Yeah, but he's saying he doesn't ever get his own movie. Do I get my own movie? Not everyone gets their own movie.
This franchise plan sucks. If we want to make billions of dollars, then I think we should start with the Tupperware movie.
Right, start with a black superhero.
Marvel is making a black superhero movie.
Yeah, now? They waited years to get to that. We follow their plan. We do all the real people first, and we sneak the black guy in phase 3.
How about we just do movies starring all of us, like all the time? But then we're just rehashing the same old material.
There's nothing wrong with doing the exact same movie to start a franchise.
Okay, J.J. Abrams.
Okay, so you're on Cartman's side? He just likes this plan because he gets 2 movies in phase 1. Guys, we have to just go with this plan. We don't even have 1 movie yet.
How did it get to this? How did we grow so far apart?
You go with the plan. Maybe we'll just go and do our own franchise. Yeah. Oh, you want Civil War? Is that what you want? Yeah, dude, Civil War. Fuck you. Oh, fuck you. Get out of my house. We'll make way more money on our franchise. Go ahead. I bet you don't even get halfway through phase 1 on your franchise, DC Comics.
I thought Civil War wasn't supposed to happen until phase 3.
Shut up, Super Craig. I didn't want to have to do this, but you leave me no choice.
Did I just hear someone use a microaggression?
If you have been playing that drinking game at home, you probably fell asleep on your computer. And now we move from the flatulent, prepubescent superheroes of South Park to the snowy post-pandemic streets of New York in Tom Clancy's The Division. Thanks to all of you out there, The Division broke records when it launched earlier this year, and today more than 10 million of you have spent up to 3 hours a day hitting a steady supply of high-value targets and trying to get your hands on the best loot in the Dark Zone. Well, here to tell us more about what's new in The Division, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Julian Garrity, Creative Director from Massive Entertainment. Hey, how's it going, Julian? Welcome. All right.
Thank you. And thank you for wearing those shoes.
I like to make everybody feel...
I'm not actually that short.
No, you're actually taller than me without these shoes on. I'm sorry.
I'll go with it. And thanks to all the Division players out there who are so passionate about our game.
Yeah, it's a cool-ass game. And you guys have been adding all kinds of new stuff to the game since it debuted. We heard just a little while ago about the Underground, so do you want to tell us more about what's going on with that?
Absolutely. So, in Underground, you and your team will be fighting against a dangerous threat hidden beneath the streets of New York City. And every time you play, the challenge is unique. That means endless replayability and even better rewards the further you go.
Okay, so, I mean, one of the coolest things about this game is it is open world, it is so robust, and you're making it more robust all the time. So are you going to tell us when we're going to get this new content, or do I just have to start taking bets? I know, I'm big and I'm also pushy.
Yes.
I agree.
Underground will be out June 28th on Xbox One and PC, and August 2nd on PS4. And this is just one of the updates we'll be releasing this year. Because for the Division team, this is a long-term commitment. We love this world, you love this world, and we're going to keep on making it better for you.
That's awesome. I mean, you know, I've been in love with this game since you guys first debuted it on one of the shows that I hosted, and I'm really, really excited about it.
Cool. And that's not the only thing we're going to tell you about today. We've got a little surprise for you. To celebrate Ubisoft's 30th birthday, we're giving our fans 3 exclusive outfits to use in-game. Ghost Recon, Rainbow Six, and Splinter Cell. You get an outfit. You get an outfit. Chad, you get the 3 outfits. Good for you, Chad. So, if you're a member of Ubisoft Club, all of these outfits will be 3 for you with the release of Underground.
It's like smushing 2 or 3 or 4 games together that you love.
Don't tell the other 2.
I don't know, I have a lot of feelings.
They let us do this, but they're not
I love it. Well, I'm super stoked about running around Manhattan in trifocal goggles without getting arrested like I typically do. So we've got Underground, we've got dope new outfits. More?
We've got one more expansion to talk to you about today. In it, you'll struggle to find meager supplies in New York and fight to survive in some of the most brutal weather conditions imaginable. It's a completely new way of playing the game, and you'll be able to play it very soon. Even sooner if you're on Xbox One or PC. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Survival.
Yeah.
Blizzard was getting worse, but we had to investigate the rumors of a cure. The storm took everything. No food, no water, temperature dropping.
Hey, over here.
We are not alone out here.
Come on, man. Yeah.
In this world, it's hunter against prey.
Go, go, go!
He's out!
The storm doesn't care if you live or die.
Evacuation area compromised.
But some of us will survive.
So much awesomeness. Now, for Ubisoft, VR is the perfect technology for making gaming more accessible. And Ubisoft Montreal's Funhouse team built a game that just about everyone is going to know how to play the minute they put on their headsets. So, here to take us into the world of Eagle Flight, please welcome creative director Charles Houteau, along with two huge fans of the game, Palmer Luckey, inventor and founder of Oculus, and Jason Holtman, head of publishing at Oculus VR.
Hello, everyone. I am very excited to show you the game today, and even more excited to have you guys to play with us.
Thanks for having us. We're huge fans of Eagle Flight. It's a very, very intuitive game, and the flight mechanic is super innovative, and it gives you that real freedom of flying in VR. But most of all, it's just super fun, and by super fun, I mean I can beat Palmer almost every time I play.
That's not true. But I mean, we've been playing this game for months at Oculus, and we've been getting pretty good at it. And so this is a really good chance for us to come and show everybody that we can beat you guys at your own game.
Yeah. Let's see what you got, Palmer.
Let's go. Let's go.
Hello, everyone. My name's Carsten Myhill, and I'm going to talk you through, for the first time ever at E3, a live PvP demo in VR. It's called Capture the Prey, and 2 teams of 3 will battle it out in the skies over Paris. Over here, we have the blue team, resplendent in their Hawaiian shirts, led by Palmer Luckey, Olivier, and Vicky, and the red team, led by Jason Holtman, with his 2 wingmen, Andre and Charlie. The rules are simple. It's a capture the flag game, and we will play best of 3. So if we're ready to go, let's fly. So we can see the first location of the prey, right there at the foot of the Eiffel Tower, and they have to take it to the nest to score a point. It's a bit like football. They have to work as a team, taking the object and bringing it to a goal. All right, maybe not the greatest analogy in the world, but you get the idea. Teamwork is key to succeeding in this game. Paris has been reclaimed by nature. We can see the Champ de Mars overrun now with beautiful trees and undergrowth and nature and escaped animals from the zoo, like those giraffes over there. Olivier has the rabbit and is making his way over to the nest right now. He's trying to stay low, using shortcuts, weaving in and out of the trees, taking little alleyways and tunnels wherever he can, trying to stay out of sight of his opponents who are trying to shoot him. Oh, and he's been hit by Andre. And the rabbit is down. Charlie's got it. So the red team in possession. Oh no, killed by Vicky. Who's going to pick it up? They're not far from the nest now. And it's Olivier for the blue team.
Yeah!
There's the nest. Are blue going to score first? Yes, they are. 1-0 to the blue team. Yeah, well done, guys. Okay, remember, it's best of 3, so the red team need to score to stay in the contest. Oh, Vicky with the amazing steal and then flew right into the line of sight of Andre, who took it from her. Into the tunnels, utilizing gusts of winds and thermals to get a speed boost. Andre looks like he's got a bit of a free run at the moment. Someone's shooting at him though. Andre staying low, Jason being wingman, backing him up. Over to the Pantheon there. Oh, great kill by Jason on Olivier. Oh no! But Andre has it for the red team, 1-1. Well done. Don't high-five each other, that's not going to work. Okay, the final location is right there at the top of the Eiffel Tower. Don't ask me how the rabbit got up there. It's an extremely exposed position. We'll see them shooting at each other as they head up to try and get that final rabbit to win the game.
Yeah!
Palmer with a kill, good work. And Andre's down, great shot of Vicky taking him out there. Vicky inside the Eiffel Tower, utilizing the thermals. But Jason with the ram against the final score. No! Vicky with the steal. Okay, we have to chase on to get to that final nest. Not far to go now. Andre with it for the red team. Taken out just at the final moment. And the blue team with the steal right at the end to win the game. Well done, blue team. And keep on playing. Sorry guys, we're going to have to stop now. For those of you here, you can come to the Ubisoft booth and the Oculus booth to try it out yourselves. So we'd love to come and see you down there. Thanks very much. Have a great E3.
All right. Thanks to Palmer and Jason, Charlie, and of course the entire dev team. I actually got to play an early version of this game last year here at E3, and I'm not going to lie to you, it was like super alpha, and I peed a little. Like it wasn't even very good, and it was awesome. So this is going to be incredible. I really encourage you to check it out. Eagle Flight is going to be on Oculus Rift and all the other VR platforms this fall, and it is playable this week at the Ubisoft and Oculus booths. So get down there and do it. Now that we've seen some flying raptors soaring through abandoned city streets, it's time to ascend a bit higher in elevation. So please welcome Ubisoft Red Storm's David Votipka.
At Ubisoft, VR is about more than just technology. It's about creating games that just weren't possible before, and exploring new worlds with friends without ever having to leave your living room. It's about fully immersing yourself in these worlds and going places and becoming people and doing things that you otherwise could not do. Today, VR is all about opening up the final frontier.
Captain's log. Stardate 2016.165. Starship USS Aegis is preparing for her maiden voyage. We've gathered some of the most decorated officers in the Federation to test her limits and to prove her place among Starfleet's finest ships. We're en route to a secret testing facility and are proceeding to our destination at maximum warp.
This is amazing!
Wow! Absolutely astonishing.
When I walked in, I really wasn't sure what I was actually walking into.
This is very cool.
If I could have imagined what I would have wanted the Star Trek VR game to be, this is it! This is what we've been waiting for.
Holy crap, this is amazing. I mean, it really is breathtaking. That was an extraordinary experience, to be fully encompassed in a world.
Whoa, not into that. You're interacting with each other and you're talking to each other and you're taking orders from the captain and I mean, it's really cool.
So there's captain, helm, piloting the ship, tactical, and the engineer routing power and charging warp coils.
I'm feeling pressure already. I'm feeling nervous now.
All right, shields up.
Prepare warp. Take us out.
Yes, Captain.
Co-op gameplay is not new. I mean, you know, we can play games with our friends, but there's something different about being in a shared virtual environment.
Hearing who you're playing with, you can look over and see the person and see them doing their job and talk to them.
The team does not succeed unless everybody does their job well.
Ship decloaking, activating shields.
Okay, shields up.
Shields up. I really did not want to lower the shields while we were under attack. I was very impressed by LeVar playing that game today. He really had the language of Star Trek down.
And they are transporting, Captain.
It's like, yes, this makes you push the buttons.
I will say I nailed being the engineer.
That doesn't sound good.
It's a Klingon. Red alert.
Preparing to warp.
We're under attack. We have been waiting in anticipation for so long for the technology of virtual reality to catch up with where we imagine we should be and where we all want to go. Line us up for war, please.
We have full power.
Ensign, as soon as you can get us the hell out of here, I'd be most grateful.
This was really incredible.
Hull is down to 20%. Come on, y'all. Punch it. As soon as you can. Here we go. Woohoo! It's your own Star Trek experience in a virtual world where you can hang out with whoever you want. And that's a pretty good deal.
Yes! Guys, Ubisoft is bringing you the first ever Star Trek VR game. As you can see, it's amazing, and you heard it here first, unless, of course, you heard it from the reporter who leaked it on Reddit. You know what you can suck a bag of. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the man who was rocking a VR headset way before VR even existed, Mr. LeVar Burton.
Oh, this is so exciting.
Hi! Okay, this is happening. Okay. Welcome to the sofa I had installed here for precisely this occasion.
Thank you so much.
So it looks like Ubisoft got some of the old Trek band back together. I mean, like all of the old Trek bands and the new ones back together. So
great.
I have two questions for you. First of all, I know you have my email, so why no invite? But we'll talk about that after. And how did the game compare to being on the actual Enterprise?
So here's the thing, right? We use our imaginations so much, right? When you're on the set, you guys know that. When you're operating the console, it's really not connected to anything. You knew that, right?
You're breaking all our hearts right
now.
I
know. But here's the thing. You don't have to imagine in this game. You are existing in a completely rendered environment. You are on the bridge of a starship and you're with your friends.
Oh.
It's pretty cool.
It's so amazing. So what was it like working with that particular crew? All of you having had real Enterprise experience. I know I can't let go of the fact that it's not real. Okay, yeah, I know.
But it feels real. I mean, it felt real to us when we were doing it. Look, playing with Carl and Jerry was amazing because, you know, we have this special bond, that, just like you will with your friends when you play. And here's the thing. We really had to work together to accomplish the mission. And what's more Star Trek than that? I mean, you can play as the engineer, or you can drive the ship, you can be tactical, or you can be the captain, but no one position is more important than any other. Everybody has to do their level best in order to get the job done, and that's at the core of what Star Trek has always been about for me.
Right, and what people love about cooperative gameplay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you were Jordy LaForge, you were the engineer.
Yes.
But in the game, you got to be the captain. So what did that feel like?
Well, I told the guys at Red Storm that I was not going to shave my head for the privilege, and so they said fine. For me, it took a minute for me to get acclimated because it was weird how I just sort of slipped into Jordy. It was like that skin, I just like put it right back on again. The lingo, the rhythm, the technobabble, it all, started clicking in, coming back. But I'm used to like responding to an order and not initiating the orders. So I had to engage. That's how we start this thing. So it took a moment, but I got the hang of it, and it's such a blast. I think that they really nailed it. The graphics, everything, it's so beautiful, but you will forget all of that.
Right.
Because the gameplay is so engaging.
God, it's so cool.
It's
well,
awesome.
I can't wait to play this game, preferably at your house.
Yes. Well, you can come over and then we can play with like Brent and Jonathan Frakes and Michael Dorn.
What are you doing to my feelings now?
No. Won't that be cool though?
Yes, it would be cool. Yeah. I don't want to burst into tears in the middle of this conference, so I'll just cry it out with you after. But thank you so much for talking about this with us today.
My
you are dismissed.
But you can't dismiss me unless you outrank me.
It's very clear that I don't rank you by like many levels, so I will just say, make it so, number one.
I love you.
Oh, I love you too. Oh my God.
Guys, LeVar Burton, everybody! LeVar Burton! Okay, so we've all imagined ourselves on that bridge, and now you get to do it. We're going to have Star Trek Bridge Crew at the Ubisoft booth, and of course when it comes out this fall on all major VR systems.
There were no signs. It came without warning. Came to us all. The desperate few struggled to survive. Perhaps we had a chance for peace. But desperation and trust are seldom allies. So began a millennium of conflict. Thousand years of war. The greatest warriors the world has ever known. The reason they fight, lost to the ages. And yet, here they still stand, searching for a sign of peace. I will show them. I am Apollyon. I bring war.
Oh, yes. Desperation drives us to war. It is trust that can end it. Apollyon and her Blackstone legions crave a world where trust is impossible, and the wolves among us can roam free. I'm Jason Vandenberg. I'm the creative director on For Honor. Last year, in our multiplayer reveal, We gave you the chance to experience our new melee combat system, the art of battle. Now, we welcome you to the world of For Honor. In our campaign, be knighted. Join the Blackstone Legions to drive your enemies from your lands. As a samurai, unite your people to prevent a civil war and restore the prestige of the empire. And as a Viking, well, I think it's better to just show you, huh? I'd like you to meet our game director on For Honor, Roman Campos Oriola. Come on out, Roland. Yes. My brother. Good luck. You are the raider. In the aftermath of war, your people were starving. You brought them back. Now, your fleet sails for the lands of the samurai in seeking plunder and glory.
Apollion's war had taken us to the edge of extinction. But that raider reminded us of who we are. We would raid, but not Apollon. Not yet. But they knew we were coming. Rise! The gates of that fortress hadn't worked for a century. All we had to do was get through them. That wall was the only way forward.
Get over here! Call the rope launchers!
Ropes! Grapples! Here! to the top. One would be enough. Got us inside that fort.
Now we have them.
My fortress is lost. My soldiers slaughtered. Soon, I will join them. You open the gate. Now, you will pay! Showed us what Viking fury could do. The Great Raid, they would call it. And it had begun.
If you are looking for something to give that very special someone in your life, For Honor will be available on Valentine's Day. Yeah, sweet, it's a nice gesture. What could be more romantic than dinner, drinks, and an all-night bender of epic warfare? Either you'll bond forever, or she'll move out in the morning. And if you're in LA, come by the Ubisoft booth to play For Honor. Now, for those of you watching at home, head to forhonorgame.com to register for the very next alpha that will come very soon, all right? Now, here to talk about catapulting of a completely different kind, please welcome producer at Ubisoft Reflections, Pete Young.
At Ubisoft, we get to tell all kinds of stories. Like how we can go from a massive AAA game like For Honor to, well, to a wobbly red robot in a small experimental game. Last year, we surprised you and ourselves with Grow Home, the story of our little robot bud learning how to experience the world around him. And today, I'm really excited to announce that Bud is back. And this time, he's not just growing home, he's growing up. In Grow Up, Bud will take his first stumbling steps without the watchful eye of Mom, and you'll get to stretch your acrobatic skills across an entire planetary playground. Not only can you forget your words, not only can you ride the giant star plants, but you can throw down seeds and use plants to bounce, shoot, and catapult yourself to new heights, all the way to the moon. We want you to help Bud grow up this August on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Thank you, and enjoy E3.
Pete, your accent is so adorable. You could forget to say anything at all and just turn those vowels into words way up. There were like 18 A's in that word. You're awesome. Now, at its core, Ubisoft is a creative company with an independent spirit, and support for innovative projects is a part of its DNA. But every once in a while, that DNA mutates slightly, and this happens.
Here are the Ubisoft Creative Director Tag Team Champions, Anti, Evan Solo, and Dean Evans.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Where's Chad? Not you. Out. So I'm sorry, I'm just kidding,
Hello, I'm Untitled Chapter, the creative director of Trials and also President of Finland.
Hello, I'm Dean Evans, creative director of the original Blood Dragon and advocate of world peace.
Trials and Blood Dragon made baby together.
That's right, Auntie. And this horrible problem child is being delivered right now. Now.
Power Cult and Dr. Darling are back, this time with their two Cyber Commando kids, Roxanne and Slater. Play as the ralliest mean teens this side of Mars and defy gravity on your ultimate Dragon Slayer cyber bikes. Protect America with freedom flips that ride on the ridiculous roller coaster of righteousness. Grapple and spin all over the planet. Use guns to shoot cyborgs, communist aliens, and giant ancient Dragon Balls! Space is the place, and the action is in your face! Ride through loops, hoops, and multiple dimensions! Into the future! Come fight Vietnam War 4! Together, forever, today! Trials of the Blood Dragon! Side effects may include euphoria and extreme patriotic views.
Nothing like an 8-bit title to get you excited. As you can tell, this game is a beast, and in case you didn't get the incredibly subtle messaging in that video, it is out now on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Well, actually, it's almost out now. We didn't want anybody sprinting off to chase blood dragons while we were still here on stage, so the game will be released as soon as this conference ends, about 30 minutes from now. Calm yourselves and just take comfort in the fact that apparently LMFAO is back together, guys, so that was nice. All right. Guys, never knew they were white. Guys, This is Ubisoft. And there is, yes it is, my friends, and there is no UBE3 experience without a deep dive into Assassin's Creed. You know this, and I know this. And this year is special because Assassin's Creed is about to go super multi-platform. Here to talk about the upcoming Assassin's Creed movie, please join me in welcoming legendary movie producer Frank Marshall. So, Frank, thank you so much for coming today.
Great
now,
to be here.
in case, I'm excited to have you. In case people don't know, you have worked on some of the hugest films and film franchises that have ever existed in our history. Indiana Jones, Back to the Future, the Bourne films, Jurassic World. So what drew you specifically to this project?
Well, I mean, it's kind of simple. I'm always looking for a good story. And I thought that the Assassin's Creed universe really had all the elements that could make a great movie.
Yeah.
So it was kind of our goal as the filmmakers to take these elements and stay respectful to the franchise and the DNA of the brand and bring something new to the franchise that could be experienced in movie theaters. So we have a new story. We have a new hero, dynamic supporting players and characters. So we kind of mixed a little bit of the old up and the familiar with a new element.
And this is such a storied franchise. There is so much to draw from. I think everybody is super stoked to see that Michael Fassbender is playing in the lead role. Yes. It's an incredible cast all around. What can you tell us about what went into making this film?
Well, it's really kind of a massive production. We shot in 3-4 different countries. Obviously, there's an historical aspect to the story where we go back in time, just like in the game. But we really wanted to get the right team to put together the movie, and we started with our director, really esteemed, fantastic director named Justin Kurzel, who had just worked with Mr. Fassbender on Macbeth. And he's really a true visionary who understands the best elements of the game and how to translate them into the movie. Then we assembled a team of really incredibly talented people to surround him with and create the world and using these real locations and a team of stunt experts to take us into the parkour and the elements that you're going to see in the film.
Yeah, I mean, that's such an integral part of this world is the physical aspect of this game, and trying to replicate that in the real world had to be a challenge.
Exactly. We've got the best in the world at doing those different kinds of stunts and those different kinds of elements.
So, given all of that, what do you think people are going to be most excited about seeing when they see Assassin's Creed on the big screen?
Well, I think there's a lot to look forward to. But really, it's the multi-layered mythology that we have that comes from the game and the kind of putting you into the story. We have a real story, and it has an arc that goes all the way to the end. And you're being able to have that same wish fulfillment that you have in the game of being able to see the world through the lives and the ancestors through the genetic memory that our character has.
That's incredible. I mean, I think people already imagine themselves in this role. So to kind of write it large and bring people in is an interesting challenge, but obviously a really great opportunity. Now, this is E3, so people are expecting huge reveals. We want secrets, we want dirt. What magical things can you reveal to us about them? Nothing. Come on, Frank.
No. Actually, I'm excited because I can show you a little bit more than anybody here has seen already. So we're going to have an exclusive video that gives you a sneak peek behind the curtain and shows you everything that went into making this film, as well as never seen before footage from the movie. So we're going to roll that video very soon, as soon as you give the word,
As soon as I throw to it. Well, thank you so much for being here today.
My pleasure.
Assassin's Creed is going to be in theaters December 21st. So play a lot of Assassin's Creed before then, so it's all inside of you when you go to see the movie. And now, for your viewing enjoyment, I present Mr. Michael Fassbender.
The assassins are fighting for free will, and their main rivals are Templars. And Templars are trying to enhance humankind through science.
I think Assassin's Creed has a really deep concept and idea, which is going back into time and having some sort of relationship with the ancestor that's come before you. The overall journey of the film is through the eyes of our protagonist, the Michael Fassbender's playing.
What do you want from me?
Your past.
He starts to learn that he comes from a lineage of assassins.
He realizes the true history of himself and he creates a kind of revolution.
We work in the dark to serve the light. We are assassins.
Michael is one of the greatest actors of his generation, and there's many other strong characters in the film.
The Assassin's Creed universe is a cinematic experience. The action sequences are massive.
I just want it to be an unbelievable ride.
We have to show him who he really is.
I feel exactly the same way. I think we've all imagined ourselves in that role over the years we've played the game, but I can't think of a better choice than Fassbender. He's super hot. Really looking forward to the assassin getting naked. All right. Just me? Okay. Now for our next game. Oh. All right. Okay.
Your freedoms can only be protected if democracy thrives. But corporate interests are rigging the elections. Your elections. Your favorite social media giant, Invite, knows everything about you. And they're manipulating your feed to tailor your opinion to their interests. They are fooling you into voting for their puppet, Congressman Mark Russ. Invite wields the single most powerful population control tool ever created. Defend democracy. Help us tear down Invite. Lend us your processing power by downloading our app, and together, we will expose Congressman Thruss. Join us. We are DedSec.
Hello everyone, and welcome into the San Francisco Bay Area, the birthplace of the tech revolution and Watchdogs 2's new playground. This time, you will join DedSec, a hacker group rebelling against an establishment that uses technology to take away our freedom. You are Marcus Holloway, a brilliant young hacker on a mission to take back control from this establishment. Now, we all live in a hyper-connected world. Everything we use and every one of us is connected through technology. From the perspective of a hacker, this world is filled with opportunities. So in Watchdogs 2, everything around you can be hacked in creative ways. You can also profile, manipulate, and hack everyone. And you're not alone. You can seamlessly encounter other DedSec hackers. And now, getting into co-op has never been simpler. But for now, let's deal with Invite, a social media giant that's just been exposed by DedSec.
Our numbers are going through the roof, but we just promised to move the lid open on Invite and Election.
And we'll deliver. Have faith, sister.
Sure, if we can find evidence that Invite's manipulating social media to help.
Wrench, where you at, man?
Scouting Congressman Gypsit's apartment from the roof next door. Oh, we fucked up this fundraiser. Almost everyone's gone. Come on, get over here.
Okay, people, this is strictly by the book. Don't paint outside the lines and stay frosty.
Fuck you. Just get in there and find some rusty nails to crucify the rest of the social media cross.
On my way.
The Bay Area is filled with stories you can choose to explore. But for now, let's just check what happened when that second filtrate the politicians' penthouse to find evidence that Invite might have helped them rig the election.
Yo, Prince. Captain Dipshit lives over there.
Yo, check it out. You can see the whole city from here.
Whole lot of people out there, man. Whole lot of people.
Yeah, getting screwed.
You don't even feel it. Just numb.
It's fucked up. I know it's gonna be a hell of a fight turning them back into people.
Fucking A, man. Okay, dude. You find the evidence, and I'll mount our exit strategy.
Hey, is that the congressman?
No, I do believe that is a helicopter.
Fuck you.
Marcus, the building just went off the grid. We can't get in or see inside.
They're up to something. I'll see what. They got armed help in there. Something's definitely up.
Fine, keep.
They're scrubbing the evidence.
Get us access, Marcus, before it all gets wiped.
I'll get you inside the system. Once I do, you use the botnet to brute force your way in and download everything you can.
But once you start downloading, they'll know you're inside.
It wouldn't be a party if they didn't. And I've got a surprise for them.
Where are we on wiping the Congressman's cloud?
That's done, but there's a team at Invite scrubbing the backups, too.
They're good at this?
They're the best computer forensics team we have. You pay top dollar, you get top talent.
That's what I want to hear.
Wrench, you ready with my exit strategy?
Define? Ready.
Yo, Satara, I'm ready to go in. Play me something fresh.
Don't sweat the technique. Don't sweat the technique. Let's trace the hits, check the file. Let's see who bit the dissect style. I flip the script so they can't get filed. At least not now.
There's something over there.
I change the pace to complete the beat. I drop the bass to a beat. Get weight for every road they trace is a scar they keep. When I speak, they freak to sweat the technique. I made my debut in '86 with a melody incredible. this mix, and I will stay on target and refuse to miss. And I still make hits for beats. Parties, clubs, and cars and jeeps. My underground sound vibrates the streets. MCs wanna beat, then I play for keys.
Tell your guys to make sure all their data roaming is turned off.
Already done. This isn't our first rodeo.
There, that's that.
Know how many times have I ripped and rap, but the soldiers never found all the pieces yet. Scientists try to solve the contact. Philosophers are wondering what's next. Since I took the last to observe them, they couldn't absorb them, they didn't deserve them. My ideas are only for the audience ears. My opponents, it might take years. Two pens and swords, let us put together from a key to chords. So a sculpture, moral structure, because of my culture, I'm a rhythm instructor. Style that'll be full of technology, complete sights and new heights after I get deep. You don't have to speak, just see and peep the technique.
Who the hell?
Sweat the technique.
You're in. Do your thing.
Hey, catch that?
Let's track this guy down.
What was that? Huh? Catch that?
Send us the background.
Get back to cover!
You're only making things worse!
You're in a line of fire!
Take cover! Your society is already. Oh man, you're gonna love this.
Holy fuck, this is awesome.
You can prove your past later, man. Because we're just getting started.
Oh my God. So great. Watchdogs 2 comes out on November 15th, 2016 on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. It's so cool to see my hometown in that game. And much like you, whenever I'm infiltrating a corrupt politician's penthouse, I also listen to Eric B. and Rakim. And now, I'd like to welcome Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot to tell you a little bit more about Watchdogs. Hang out with you. Go ahead.
Hello everyone, thank you for being with us today. So as you may remember, when we launched the first time Watchdogs with the PS4, it was a major success. And that was really thanks to Sony and the push they did have on this game. So today, I'm very happy to tell you that we are going to continue with Sony and we are going to do Watchdog 2 with them. So I would like to ask Jim from Sony to come with us and tell you more about it. Thank you. Thank you, Jim.
Hello, Jim. Welcome.
Thanks, Yves. That's right. We've been really impressed by Watch Dogs ever since Ubisoft first showed the game right here back in 2012. I think you were there that night. Sony and Ubisoft partnered on that game in the early days of the PlayStation 4. And then our partnership went even further. A while back, Sony Pictures Entertainment signed up with Ubisoft Motion Pictures to produce a Watchdogs feature film with New Regency Productions. After what is shaping up to be an amazing Assassin's Creed film, we think Watchdogs is set to be the next video game-based blockbuster movie.
Yeah, it's an incredibly filmic game. Yeah, it looks so cool. And, you know, as you know, Jim, it's never too early to think about who your lead actor is going to be. So I'm looking at the character and I'm thinking Michael B. Jordan or a Taye Diggs or an Aisha Tyler who is tall and black and slightly masculine. That's what I'm thinking, you know, yeah? We can talk about it backstage.
I'll be waiting.
No, I understand you also brought something very special to share with our PlayStation players out there, right?
That's right. PlayStation owners will have access to all Watch Dogs 2 DLCs 30 days before they're released on any other platform.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. It's a killer deal for the PlayStation Nation. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jim. And now we're going to take one more look at the wild hacker playground that is Watch Dogs 2.
Ah, the San Francisco Bay.
Fuck the slow-mo. Hey. Fashion slave, you protested to get in a fucking look. Everything I scribbled like an anarchist. Look good, moving in the center for the look. Black on black with the ski mask, that is my crook. Ain't nobody styling, bro. I can turn this motherfucker up like Michael Fallon, bro. I'm focused in my cripples and my... Later on the top, look at six on your stitching crew. I'm miles ahead of you. You can sip my bitches brew. My battle status is burning mansions from Dallas to Malibu. Check my resume, your residence is residue. All of the skin job, and my honey dick will backflip for you. Play a lot, but I'll slap this shit and rip it too. Clips in the bottom, we dipping from Gotham. Listen, kissed by the shadows of throat, dead to the coffin. I'm a fellow with felony, suspect of offenders. With black rock in my law, feds checking my melody. Running too fast, running, fucking slow-mo.
Literally the most fit hacker in the world. And of course, what's a game about hackers without a few good robots? So if you pre-order the limited edition of Watch Dogs 2, you'll get your very own Wrench Jr., a hack security robot from the game. It's probably not going to help you oust a corrupt corporate overlord with a stranglehold on your city, but it is radio controlled and so quite useful for annoying your coworkers and ending unwanted relationships. All right, folks. We have one more game to show you today, and we all know that Yves likes to be the one to announce the next big thing, so I'll let him take it away. Ladies and gentlemen, Yves Guillemot.
Thank you, Aisha. So I'm excited to tell you about our new IP from our studio in the French Alps. The studio has a lot of multiplayer expertise. You know, those guys have done Splinter Cell multiplayer. They have done also Assassin's Creed multiplayer, and they worked on The Division on some part of the game. So for the first time, we are combining the thrill of action sports with a fully explorable open world. So this game will give you a chance to challenge your friends and to share your adventures with the community. It's a completely new genre, and I am sure you will love it. Thank you.
It's that moment where I've committed to leaving, but I haven't left the Earth yet. Nothing you can do but charge forward.
What I love the most in the mountains is that I can do anything I want. It's pure freedom.
You know, there's always a bit of fear. If you don't have a little fear, you know, then you're a little crazy, I think.
Nothing else matters up here. All the chaos is just gone. No one else around.
The moment my feet leave the earth, everything else disappears.
Got my own monster.
It's pure adrenaline.
Nobody but me.
It's what I live for.
I would never call him enemy. He's too bad girl. She's the one that I need. I got my own picture. She's too good that I need.
The mountain is your canvas, you know? You can paint your own picture. That's what the beauty of it is.
The most important thing for me is to try something that never been done before.
Am I scared? Sure. But fear can be a tool. It can keep you performing beyond what you think your limits are.
Hello everyone, I'm Studio Manager Rebecca Coutaz.
And I'm Creative Director Igor Manceau.
We are from Ubisoft Annecy at the base of the Alps, just a few miles from the tallest peak in Europe, Le Mont Blanc. From our studio windows, we are surrounded by the mountains, and they have inspired us to develop the game that we are here to show you today.
Up in these mountains, sport isn't always about winning. Sometimes it's just about doing awesome things with your friends and living life to the fullest.
And sometimes it's just about capturing those memorable moments and sharing them with your friends. Let's show some gameplay. Take it away, Igor.
Thank you.
Was good?
Welcome to the world of Steep, a massive open world partially set in the Alps, at the intersection of Italy, Austria, Switzerland, and France. We're currently flying over Aiguille du Mont Blanc, and in case you're wondering, aiguille means needles. First thing we'll do is land on a small rock over there. And notice the man on the right, walking up to the summit. That's another player from the community. From here, we can now enjoy the view and observe the world around us. That big guy in front of you is the Mont Blanc, the biggest summit in the region. And in the distance, you can see the Matterhorn, one of the wildest spots in the game. And on the right, you've got the Aravis Range, the region we come from, where Ubisoft Annecy stands. In Steep, we developed a really cool observation tool. We call it Mountain View. Mountain View allows you to zoom out from your position, observe the world, and navigate into the environment. Our mountain range will be populated by drop zones. Drop zones are entry points for you to drop in the world when you're ready. Now, let's get back to our initial position. Besides drop zones, the game will offer a wide range of challenges for you to test your skills. The one in front of us is a wingsuit activity. And as the other player drops in, we'll follow him and triggers a challenge. This is a proximity flying race challenge. We just secured the silver medal, and as we land, we could choose to move onto skiing in the Aiguille. But we'd like to introduce you to another region. So let's switch to Mountain View and head over to Aravis. The purpose of this next sequence is to show you what it's like to play online with your friends or with other players from the community. As you ride, you will keep meeting other players from the community, having fun in the mountain. Let's switch our point of view to follow those riders. As you noticed, the game will support GoPro views. Hold on, we really need to pause here. Too much at the same time. Now I'd like to show you something special. If we go back to Mountain View, take a look at that trail. Every line you do in the world creates a trail. And that trail is really cool. It not only allows you to check what you've done on your ride, so you can analyze your line, but it also allows you to launch a replay of what you've seen and what you've done. You can rewind, pause, control the camera, go slow-mo, and follow any players you've met. And the idea here is to allow you to push that replay of your performances, or just crashes, to all social networks so you can share it with the world. Even better, not only can you share videos, but say you liked that jump over the cliff. You know it's a tricky one. You can push it as a challenge to your friends, you define the rule, share it so it becomes part of the content your friends will see in their game. But let's catch up with our red paraglider. There is one last thing I'd love to show you. Steep is definitely about sharing intense, thrilling, crazy, or just pure fun moments. And it's also about enjoying the mountains. Thank you very much. Thank you. We're inviting you all onto the mountain as soon as tomorrow. Steep will be fully playable on the show floor. If you're watching from home, please visit steepgame.com to register for a chance to participate in Steep beta phases. This game ships this December. Thank you very much.
All right, guys. We got a lot done today, and we are barreling towards the finish line. But before we go, we want to bring Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot and all of the teams behind the games that we had on stage during our show back out here one more time. Come on out, everybody. This is going to be like the end of Saturday Night Live, only all the game devs have not been drinking for hours. Although I'm sure they'll start very soon. Welcome, Yves.
So as you could see, that was a fantastic game. And I think it's just the beginning, because as you know, this game will be live for a long time. So those guys are going to give you a lot more. So I would like to thank you, all Ubisoft teams, and Aisha, for their creativity and all the passion they have. I would like also to thank you, all the gamers. We are only here because of you. We really love you guys, because you always push us for excellence. As Aisha said, this year, Ubisoft celebrates our 30 years birthday. That means 30 years in the best industry in the world. I love video games because the real innovation and magic happens when our teams and players are free to create, free to innovate, free to express themselves, free to take risks and have fun. That's what got us here today, and that is what will drive us for another 30 years and beyond. Because when you are free, there is no failure. There is only forward.
Shit, we got the wrong game.
Such a special conference. Stick around for our post-show where we're going to answer your burning questions about Ubisoft and our conference today. Everybody, you've been so awesome. I'm Aisha Tyler. We are Ubisoft. Happy 30th birthday, Ubi. And you guys, you know what to do. Come on down, meet us on the floor, and do that shit!
Well, that was a little bit longer than we anticipated, I think. Timur?
Timur's asleep.
Timur.
Oh, what? Is it over?
We're on.
We're on.
Oh.
Welcome back to the GameSpot coverage of E3 2016. We've just been through the Ubisoft Press Conference. I don't think even they expected it to run that long.
Probably not. No. Aisha Tyler was kind of like moving it along
Speeding
towards
up.
the end. Picked up the pace a bit.
Yeah, I mean, that was scheduled for an hour, so they're bang on too. But let's talk about what we saw. I'm going to go through some of the games we'll touch on very briefly, like Just Dance. There was the awkward dancing thing.
NX is the big deal there. They announced it for NX.
Is that the first Western game to be announced for NX? Or at least
no,
from
there was a Square Enix Western, maybe there was a Square Enix thing last year.
Certainly among the first.
Yeah,
if not
so
the first.
that's very interesting. Also, that big giraffe that was there for
Highlight of the show for me.
no reason. We saw Wildlands. You guys still can't talk about it because you're under
Not quite.
embargo.
Yeah, but
Dave, what did you think?
Well, I had both of these each year while I watched it, so I'm tempering myself. But I was excited from what I saw. It looked like they're trying to deliver on what the first trailer and the first teaser promised.
Yeah.
A big open world, different ways to take on your objectives.
Mm-hmm.
The guy went on about cocaine for a little longer than I was a bit comfortable with.
I mean, he's clearly seen Narcos.
Yes.
So,
I guess what we'll say is...
yeah, I was going to say, what can you say at
Like,
this point?
Just want to point out there was no gameplay shown.
Yeah.
What they did show was like
pre-rendered,
pre-cut. They weren't. That wasn't people playing live on stage.
That wasn't live.
I mean, the thing is, I hope, like...
That's all we'll say.
I definitely hope that wasn't people playing live on stage because no one talks like that.
That was a very choreographed.
Yeah.
And man, it was. I can't say anything. It was very.
These guys were pretty chill.
I mean, all I can say is I'm excited about that game. Whatever that is, I'm excited about it.
Well, it's still a little while off yet. I think my favorite part of the whole press conference was obviously what's coming up next, which was South Park.
Yep.
That was a fantastic reveal because I thought it was going into Watchdogs. They had the Snowdrop engine stuff, so it could be the Division, and then it was just...
Yeah, they did some
digs.
Yeah, they went straight for Kanye. Like, out of the gate, just insulted his game about his mother going into heaven.
Yeah.
Which is like savage.
Just
brutal.
Completely.
And then just went straight into like... taking apart Marvel's Phase movie plan, which is what's causing the civil war between the kids.
Oh yeah, I mean some of it as well. It was again the South Park near the knuckle humor that we all know and love, but also I just love how much the title of the game lends itself to innuendo.
Yeah.
Like the poor dev who was saying, "So what's new with the fractured butthole?"
Yeah, can we see more of the fractured butthole?
I guarantee they named it that just so that everyone would have to repeat it over and over.
Oh yeah.
They were laughing to themselves so hard when they named this game. I promise.
But like what we're seeing on the screen now is they've revamped the combat system.
Yeah.
It looks like we were suggesting, like it's completely being redone instead of taking most of what Obsidian did. It's designed to be more of an active game because you are playing superheroes. You get to pick classes. You can do different like superpower moves, and it looks really cool and really fun. The first game, Stick of Truth, was genuinely funny, and it's very difficult to be genuinely funny in a video game. Few companies can manage it.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious. It was crude, puerile, in the way that we love South Park being. So like this looks like it's going to be along the same lines. I am mega excited about this game. Well up for it.
Yeah, Dave?
Well, like I said before, I'm not a big fan of South Park, but even this game made me laugh.
Yeah.
It might be the thing that gets me into more South Park. And like you said, the combat looks a lot more interesting than the last game did as well.
Yeah, not just all three standing on one side.
Yeah.
There's movement involved. Scott?
I might save some of my opinions for an angry Twitter rant, but I do
angry
think
Twitter
that
rant.
it's looking better than the first game. I appreciate that they've like added some depth to the combat. It's looking like it might actually be pretty fun, and I do love the whole premise of it basically being like a big giant rip on Marvel.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when he said, "Oh my God, you're DC." Like that was an amazing burn as
and the whole Black Panther bit.
Wow.
Which was wow.
Just
they really went places with that the satire there, and
that's one way to put it.
Yeah, that is it's almost to the point of being like a bit spiteful and a bit like crossing the line-ish, but I don't know, some people argue that's what South Park does best, and I don't know about that, but
as we predicted, we saw more of the Division. So what's interesting to note here is Julian Garrity, who they had up on stage, was actually lead on the crew, so I'm just going to assume that game got quietly no more support for the crew if they've lost their key talent. But, Underground's coming out June 28th, August 2nd on Xbox, August 2nd on PS4. We also saw
Challenge. Survival,
Survival,
right?
which is their next DLC.
Yeah, it was hard to tell what it was. It seemed like it was just what we're used to playing.
Yeah, it's like you're in a city and you're getting chased and there's snow. It's like, that's
been the game. But
the one thing that was really cool is at the very end, like the guy with all the Division armbands, like he was collecting the skulls of agents or something.
Yeah.
Essentially, I like that. I'm really hoping that that's just some guy who roams the city and you have to kind of like find him and fight him, or gang up with other people to take him down because he's just that impossible to defeat. That might be really cool.
Yeah.
And then came time for the VR segment. So we saw a bunch of Eagle Flight, Palmer Luckey on stage.
That is, I've never expected I'd see, eagles fighting over a rabbit being shoutcasted on the internet.
Yeah.
Which was insane.
I mean, there was no rabbits, but there was that one rabbit, the poor rabbit.
But like the way they were treating it like it's some sort of esports, and like Palmer Luckey with his weird sandal
real excited
on stage, like just playing it. And he
that's
killed.
Gonna be the next big esport.
Yeah.
What sandals?
Sandal wearing, competitive sandals. But like it looked okay. It's good that you're always in motion, because when you slow down and look around, you're like, wow, this game is very bare bones, but it's stylized enough to be kind of visually striking when you're flying through it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how long that premise is going to be fun for. I guess you could make it interesting and extend its life by creating loads of different maps and that kind of stuff, but I don't know how I feel about competitive eagle flights.
Also, you need like 6 people to have an Oculus Rift and this game to actually get a good game out of it.
Yeah.
In theory, you could play online, but I'm with you. The gameplay seems kind of thin. I don't know how much you could really do with it.
It's more a little party trick
Also,
and then put it back.
Constant screeching from eagles.
So much screeching.
I thought you meant Palmer Luckey.
Oh, right. Yeah. That was Palmer as well.
Also that.
Yeah. But then their other VR game was, of course, Star Trek. Nice little video feature with Carl Urban, Jerry Ryan, and LeVar Burton, who... basically, Star Trek, the game, it kind of looks like, if you've played that iPhone game, I wrote it down. Space Team on iPhone.
It's Space Team meets
yelling at your friends.
Or everybody dies, or whatever it's called.
Keep talking and nobody explodes.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's basically a mixture of that, which is like what I was saying earlier, like we need substantial experiences, but like that's kind of, I think, might just kind of be creeping up to that, like, because Space Team was a very simple game, but it's in groups it was very, very fun, and it had a lot of longevity to it. I played it a whole lot. It's clear that they took inspiration from Space Team. Like, it's very obvious that they're doing that. I mean,
it's a smart choice.
Yeah, and Space Team was itself a kind of parody on the kind of Star Trek on the bridge, telling people what to do, that kind of thing.
I did kind of laugh a little bit when LeVar Burton said the graphics were great.
Yeah. What is he?
But he's so charming.
Yeah.
Oh no, seriously. I mean, I'm a big Trek fan, so I was like, oh. And then, I mean, I think the game of the press conference for all of us, judging by our reaction, was For Honor.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
so look at single player. From the sounds of it, sounds like there's 3 single player campaigns.
That was the vibe I got. Yeah.
It wasn't super clear, but they described what each campaign would essentially entail.
Yeah.
It remains to be seen, I guess, but it seems very likely that each of the factions will get their own campaign.
Well, what's interesting is that they said that, as the Knights, you join the Blackstone Legions, as the Samurai, you're trying to prevent a civil war. And then when it came to the Vikings, they showed this, which is the Vikings directly attacking
the Samurai
thing. So I'd be interested to see, if you did play all 3 campaigns, how much overlap and interaction there is.
Yeah, if they would intertwine in some way, that'd be really cool. I'm also hoping that it's kind of story-driven, or there's a little more substance to it, and it's not just, preparing you for the multiplayer.
Yeah.
A lot of developers seem to be doing that kind of thing now. Like Siege is another Ubisoft game that they had these sort of single-player missions, but really they were just kind of teaching you the mechanics so you could jump into multiplayer, and they were fun, but it wasn't really a true campaign. So I'm kind of hoping For Honor really goes for it and does a robust, complete, story-driven campaign.
It looks stunning as well, and the combat seems to flow really well. And like we were discussing earlier, it looks like there is a lot of nuance and strategy to the moment-to-moment gameplay and combat.
There was a lot of contextual combat as well. Like people being thrown off at the top, people being thrown
into the spikes.
Yeah. I'd be quite interested to see how the combat differs between each faction. Yeah. Like the vibe we got from the Vikings is that they're big heavy hitters. There was a lot of weight behind all their moves. I'd assume that the Samurai are a bit more fluid, a bit more agile. Maybe the Knights are somewhere in between. But not only could there be 3 different stories, but it'd be like 3 different ways to play as well.
Yeah, which would be very exciting. And also, I mean, a lot of the comparisons online were saying it looks a lot like Rise, Son of Rome. I'm definitely getting that vibe, but I don't know. There's something more about this game. It looks more interesting to me than...
I mean, when you look at the story mode, it kind of feels, in terms of the scope and the set pieces, almost God of War-ish.
Yes.
And then when you're in the big battles, it's almost Dynasty Warriors-ish. Like you're just kind of like rushing through this area, thinning out the hordes of enemies to get to this one point where a special type is there, so you can wipe them out and move on. It looks like it's drawing from a lot of these games, and it's just the level of polish that we're already seeing is really, really like exciting, and it looks like they've figured out how they want combat to work, and they seem to have made it look fluid and like interesting. So yeah, I'm really excited. I think it was probably the game of the showing.
Yeah, for sure. Another game that we knew about because it leaked just before it went out, but Grow Up.
Grow Up.
I'm really proud because Ubisoft Reflections are from Newcastle, so having a Geordie on stage was incredible. Game looked cute. It's a little cutesy platformer. Yep. I don't know. I'll play it, but I'm not really hyped about it.
It didn't have the same impact as something like Child of Light, where you kind of see it and just are immediately mesmerized. But yeah, I mean, Grow Home was a cute, fun little game, and it seems like Grow Up is going to expand on those same mechanics. So I have faith that the team is going to do something really clever and really cute and endearing with it. So I mean, I will certainly play it. Again, I agree with you. It's like, you can't get quite as hyped about that as maybe some of the other stuff they showed, but hey, I'm happy it's in there. It's really nice to have a game that's not just like blood and gore and violence all the time. Like, you need a bit of a palate cleanser every now and then.
Grow Home was a surprise for a lot of people. And it came out of nowhere, and it was out before you knew it, and everyone that played it were like, wow, this is actually really quite cute. And the thing that's really going to like settle it for this one is how far they go with it, whether they overextend or not. Like, I'm hoping that it looks like they've introduced a few new ideas and spread out the made the environment that you're exploring a little bigger, and hopefully it's just that, like, still maybe like a 4 or 5 hour experience, and it doesn't try to be this big, long, never-ending things. Because if they can keep it short and sweet again, they can recapture some of that kind of shock and awe that you get from a game that just appears out of nowhere. So it's all about how big they're kind of going with it, hopefully.
And then after that we had Trials of the Blood Dragon. I think when everyone saw the guy from Trials and Dean Evans, the guy from Blood Dragon, come out, you already kind of knew what you were in for. What do we think? Has the Trials boat kind of sailed now?
I don't know. It's interesting because Trials is a game that classically makes a lot of people like super tense, especially in those later levels. They are epically hard. But then Blood Dragon also makes everyone so happy because it's so kooky, crazy. It's all the nostalgia fuel that we adore. So combining something that makes people so gleeful and happy with something that can really make your skin crawl with frustration, it's going to be interesting to see how it works, especially with all the new additions. Like, they had guns in there. There were people on foot at times, so I don't know how they're going to actually...
Different vehicles.
Yeah, exactly. Going to blend those two types of gameplay.
To be honest, I absolutely love Trials Evolution, so I'm kind of hoping that this can scratch those itches.
More of that, but with neon and dragons.
Pretty much. And then we came to, let's just say it's the bit where I should have went to pee. The Assassin's Creed.
Oh, yeah.
No game at all to show. But we did get Frank Marshall, who was a big shot Hollywood producer. Based on
and
more
a big
what
wet blanket.
I mean, I can't help but think that poor Michael Fassbender didn't really look that thrilled to be shooting that promo. What do we think from what we saw? It was more of the same trailer.
Yeah, it was a lot of the same footage that we'd seen previously, and the guy just like he didn't seem to be like all there. He was just like, oh yeah, I'm here to talk about some movies, some game people, and then he would just get out of it and go to the pub or whatever. But like, he didn't say anything interesting. Like, his classic, it was the most PR moment of that thing, because it was like he's churning out PR crap and whatever. Yeah, all right, you got your movie coming. Get on, like, get off.
Yeah, it was like another step on his press junket. I felt it didn't feel. I mean, like, they could have addressed any of the, the fan concerns that they're setting most of it in the present day, or, just something. I don't know.
I think Ubisoft has just forgotten how to do an E3 presser without mentioning Assassin's Creed. So they needed to at least say the words Assassin's Creed, get it off their chest, and then move on.
Yeah. Then we have Watchdogs 2, which
looks fine.
Looks good. Yeah, we saw it last week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
A lot more colourful.
that final trailer with him, cutting between transitions and stuff like that, it was really cool.
Yeah.
Great music selection.
Yeah, the music in that game has so far, like from what I've seen, has been great. They're like really well curated selection of licensed tracks, and the world is much brighter and much more alive and has much more personality. It's just a game that I actually want to play. I mean, the first game was so like stark and empty. It's really nice to see that it kind of grew a sense of humor between the first and second games. There's certain moments in there where it's like feels like pandering to millennials a little too hard. It feels very forced, but if you can kind of stomach that, I think it actually looks like a very fun game, building on what the first game did well, but injecting welcome new personality.
Also, I don't know why this hacker dude is wearing the name of his hacking group on his T-shirt. And his hat.
Is annoying. Why does this? Yeah. Look at my cool dead.
And then he goes into like a
hat.
stealth infiltration mission, and immediately like
no one will know
one of his senses by putting blasting music on. It's like, what are you doing, dude? Like, what if someone walks up behind you and like smacks you in the back of the head? You won't hear it coming.
There's some silliness.
Yeah, and also the news that Watchdogs is going to be turned into a movie, which we actually talked about.
They already said that, so
Yeah.
it wasn't really good. I don't know why we had a Sony's Jim Ryan come out to talk about that. Like,
because they wanted another
get
Geordie on
involved,
stage.
yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, I guess Sony Pictures might be involved in some capacity then.
Yeah, and then their final reveal, new IP.
SSX Tricky.
Meets the
What we wish
wingsuit
is
challenge
SSX
from Just Cause, meets the wingsuit from Far Cry. It's steep. I'm kind of a little confused about this game. Like,
Yeah, you said during the trailer, who is this for?
Yeah.
extreme sports fans.
When I saw the trailer, I was just thinking, man, wouldn't a new SSX game be
Yeah.
really good?
Yeah.
Instead, we're stuck with a game that doesn't seem like it knows what it wants to be. Like, there were moments where it's like, yeah, extreme sports, and then there were people laughing at the characters getting hurt, and then it was like an almost environmental message of like, love the mountains and adore the sights.
It was a little confused.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, sorry, Lucy.
Oh no, I was gonna say it kind of felt like it was trying to put the tricky stuff in, but it was doing it very seriously. It tried to do, when you bail in trials and you do the quick restart, it tried to look like it was doing that. It's put a photo mode in. It's got what looks like kind of the crew, like people seamlessly joining you and beating your challenges and stuff. So overall, it just looks like a very Ubisoft game in a completely different. I never would have expected this, to be honest.
In the game's defense, I do like the idea of a game that is almost more exploration driven than maybe we're giving it credit for. It seems like it is sort of just about, hey, you're on a mountain, you have the freedom to kind of go and do what you want and just sort of feel immersed in this environment. I think for certain people that's going to be very appealing, and the idea that you have multiple activities to engage in while you're in that environment.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be enough to keep you busy and have some fun with the game. I mean, I think it'll be interesting to actually play it and figure out what it's really trying to do. But, I'm intrigued. I don't want to completely write it off just yet.
I really do wonder how much of an audience there is for a very sim type heavy kind of very bland looking skiing or extreme sports type game. Like, the ones that are memorable and the ones that have the best chance of succeeding are the ones that are like a little over the top in a way. Like, I hate to bring up SSX Tricky again, but it's never like the kind of simple, this is exactly how it would feel to be skiing, that really like captures everyone's imagination. There's always a spin on it, in the same way that, for example, a simulation racing game is, Forza is good, but like Forza Horizon is where it's fun and is what really people love and talk about it, in the same way that, SSX 3 or versus SSX Tricky, which one do they talk about? It's everyone loves Tricky. Like, they don't love the very bland simulation style games. But I'm sure there will be an audience, but I don't know. I feel like they're kind of limiting themselves by trying to be like very, serious toned. We're gonna explore the mountains and you're gonna be one with nature. No, we need to do like backflips and.
What do you have against nature, Timur? Come on.
Down with nature is what I say.
I found it quite a surprising reveal, given that this is the UB30. I imagine more of a big blockbuster at the end, I guess. I mean, Steep will find its audience, but I don't know if it's as mass market as some of the other titles.
Apparently the audience is not the people on this couch.
To be honest, we don't really go outside.
Yeah, that's true. All the reason to play this game instead.
That's true. Also, there was a game, I think it came out, it was definitely being in development for PS4, Snow, I think it was called. And it was, first person. I played it in the Oculus once, and that was...
When I saw Steep, I mentioned playing that in VR would be more interesting than playing it normally.
Yeah.
Until you do a flip.
Until you, like,
and then throw
break
up
Oh, that'd be fun. I'm into it.
Yep.
So no Beyond Good and Evil 2. There was a leaked running order that went out just as the show was starting, and it said there would be 2 new IPs. Sadly, that second one didn't materialize at the end.
Unless it was referring to Blood Dragon.
That's all I can think of.
Grow Up, maybe.
Maybe.
Kind of count.
How do we think? I think Aisha Tyler killed it this year. I'm a big fan of hers anyway.
She's always great.
She's aggressively enthusiastic, which I really like. She's like, she doesn't care whether you think she's cool or not. She's just going to keep shouting at you until everyone loves her. I'm like, cool, man. I'm down with that. You do you.
We had Eve. We had some special, really quite good people on stage. There was Eve Gilmore. There was Jim Ryan. There was obviously Matt Stone and Trey Parker.
Yeah, they were excellent.
They always are. I remember them when they were at the Xbox conference a few years ago, and they just did not give a damn.
Yeah, they were. They seemed like they were just checked out and were just going to rip everyone. But
so everyone picks for games of the press conference.
For Honor.
It's going to be For Honor, isn't it?
Oh, straight in
I'm
there.
going to go with South Park, the fractured butt hole. Just wanted to say it again one more time.
I know you did.
For me, a close runner-up is Watchdogs 2. Honestly, I'm pretty excited about what I've seen so far.
Yeah.
It almost feels like GTA 5 with hacking mechanics, which is like, great, let's do it.
The amount of personality and colour they've injected into that game has made me more excited than I was for the original Watchdogs.
Yeah, I'm still going to be saying this, for many years to come. I'm still disappointed about no Beyond Good and Evil 2. Also, no Prince of Persia.
No.
No look at Assassin's Creed.
I don't think any of that's super surprising. I mean, with the 2-hour press conference, they clearly had enough going on already. So I think that, we got enough.
They could have cut out the movie bit and the extended dance sequence at the beginning for a game that wasn't even shown in any capacity.
Yeah, that was quite confusing.
What are you doing, man?
But I guess, it's a licensed music game. They'll still be working through that. They can't really. I mean, they did have Don't Stop Me Now as every...
Great song.
It's a great song. It's in every game ever. But what else did we think? What were your kind of high points, like really like getting into the conference?
I just think back to For Honor.
For Honor was great. I don't know. There's something about Grow Up that I really, really dig. Like the more I think about it, the more how much I enjoyed the original one. And now I'm thinking about like being in space and having a rocket, jetpack and stuff, and being given more area to explore. Like that's kind of, it's getting into my head now. And I really want to play it. And Blood Dragon being out now.
Yes,
which
that was a very Oprah
deal.
moment as well.
So once we get back to England from all this madness, I'm going to sink my teeth into that. I'm really excited about that.
I just realized how severely outnumbered I am here.
Yeah.
Have you only just done?
The time
it's
has
the
come.
Brit takeover.
Star Trek Bridge Crew kind of charmed me as well, but I'm pretty sure that it was the interaction between some of my favourite Star Trek characters that charmed me more than the actual game.
Oh, Jerry Ryan.
Seven of Nine. Geordie LaForge, Bones.
Yeah, all good.
I'm not referring to
damn it, man. He's not a gamer. He's a doctor. But no, I'm interested to see if Ubisoft are going to take on other licenses like Star Trek. I mean, if they're going to make a push into VR, it seems like there's more of a scope for that. When we were watching EA yesterday, they showed like someone working with a VR headset, and it looked like a cockpit of an X-wing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of these experiences that would lend themselves well to VR. Do we think of any others?
Well, you will fly it. I mean, that's working well so far. That's
a confusing one for me.
I could see them adding like a VR portion to Steep in the future if it does it okay.
Yeah, the wingsuit would be fun.
Yeah, once like PlayStation VR is out there, like not something that's dependent on you traveling really fast, more like they've rendered this mountain, all these mountains, like, and to give you the ability to kind of fly through them and look around, just take the Eagle Flight stuff and just kind of let you explore without having to actually race or stuff like that. If you want to, they're talking about plotting your paths and that kind of stuff, or looking back on your paths. So it would be easier if you could like jump into VR, really fly through and be like, I need to take a left here, learn the patterns, and then get back into the game and go through it, as you would normally. That might be an interesting way to kind of extend the life of that game or give it a new twist. But I don't know.
Yep. So this is 2 out of 3 press conferences today. Well, 3 out of 4 actually. There was a PC show. We've got Sony coming up. Do we think there's going to be any Ubisoft presence there?
I think Division might show up again. one more time.
Announced their third expansion.
Yeah, no, I think
On both Xbox and PlayStation.
I don't know. That's right, actually. It was at Xbox. I keep forgetting that they showed up at Xbox. But
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like they'll be there for a bit, just to be like, maybe in like a quick like teaser trailer type thing. Maybe no one comes out to be like, hey guys.
Yeah.
One of their VR things might make a nod if they mention.
Yeah.
If they mention Morpheus.
Yeah.
Oh well, PlayStation VR now.
Morpheus was a better name.
It was such a great name.
For the 2 hours that they had, I think they announced as much as they could.
Yeah.
It's a fair point. I don't know what they could possibly have left at this point.
The long shot is that Sony has an exclusive, which Ubisoft isn't doing much of these days.
Yeah, less and less, certainly.
But then again, you never know. Stranger things have happened. Like we had Shenmue last year. So
That's true. We'll still get some of the DLC we expected. Like maybe there'll be a Far Cry Primal DLC coming into PlayStation 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised we didn't see more out of that. I mean, that game only came out 4 months ago. We haven't really heard too much of it since its initial release, so I figured maybe that would be a contender. So maybe it's Sony.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But you should be joining us here at 5:30 for our Sony pre-show. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to my lovely guests on this couch over here. For more coverage of E3 2016, make sure you keep your eyes peeled to GameSpot.